from the 7th of the 2nd month of 1441. Does your view of 21, the world, excessively burden you? Interest bearers won't work their unscrupulous trade with 4 of coins reversed because you refuse them. Leading the ending and lead by the blind is 6, love among them. Page of swords reversed reaches down from above to cut out useless expressions. Queen of swords reversed does not think that established positions justify social transgressions. 14, temperance reversed presses her vessels together, collecting the milk and honey of moderation to break free from external opinion. Does not initially need a practiced maturation. Don't lose your energy with over persuasion. I am not here to criticize mere impulses, plans, feelings, or emotion. Goods can be lost, but some need that lesson. If we claim beyond our scope, we will fail in integration. And I am here with Lzwvmmh. Narahzu Pafwazans.
That's me.
So what are your initial thoughts of this poem? And I guess the graphic, because this is your first time on this series.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right. Well, I was intensely listening to each and every word that you spoke in a way that I have never done before on this topic. And I found a specific part very interesting with I think it was, maybe you can tell the audience and myself what kind of cards you started with, and maybe give some background, or step-by-step background to each card that you were speaking of. The tarot.
So let me, okay, what's the right angle? So we got the world card. We have the 4 of coins.
The world card, the 4 of coins. Yeah,
that's reversed. And so we got love, and we have the page of swords, and that's reversed. So I'm going off of general stuff, but every deck that I do a series on, I have more than the next tarot deck to do a series on. So when in like 4 months or something, I'm going to do another. Well, not 4 months, more like 6 months or something. But I'm going to do another series, and so I haven't decided which deck. It's going to be. It's going to be in a. But yeah, every deck I try to trying to make it specific to that deck. This deck doesn't have your typical because for the most popular tarot decks are either promoters of Christianity or Kabbalah, and this deck, just like the next series, it doesn't have that. It's not full of the planetary things. But it has it has the themes, but it doesn't. It's like even the person in the church that's giving a speech it's a woman, and you're not allowed in the Bible to speak.
Absolutely.
Women aren't allowed to speak in church, let alone give the
sermons.
That's right. I mean, biblically nowadays they do something different. So it's but
I saw your
right,
comment.
it's a recreation. You know, so there's
Yeah.
this Ship of Fool. There's this German classic, the
Mhm.
Ship of Fools.
Yeah, Ship
Is,
of Fools. Yeah.
and so they rendered a Rider-Waite Marseilles style tarot out of it. And this graphic, this graphic here is not a picture from the deck or any of the artwork therein, but it's a picture that I found of that deck. So it's important to try to do your own thing. So I added some color to it, and I, of course,
it's very important to do your own thing.
But I censored it a bit because YouTube's very particular. It's like we see,
Oh, really?
we see titties on your tarot cards, so we're going to make this 18 up. So
so ridiculous. Yeah, I got
it's
you.
like, well, there's difference between the types of nudity. Like I understand why you were mentioning Unicron. Why a couple of her videos. It's like, admit it, you're running around naked and whatnot, but it's like completely unnecessary to whatever. And I don't know, you and your boyfriend were probably risking getting arrested doing the video, but you found enough alone time out there that you try to pull that one off. I mean, there are nudist colonies and stuff, but they don't let you run around with a camera, so you get kicked out for good. And really, that's not my bag. Nudity's not. I'm not putting it out all for everyone. And,
yeah.
You know, it's not that I don't value my body, but I'm not doing that. But anyways, you know, you see, I don't know what the message is with this, because she's like, "Hey, I'm on my period." It's like, okay, and he slips his hand and says, "Okay, I'll wait." Because his hands aren't really out to. Come here, woman. And this guy's like, we're giving you a ride, and here you are. It's like the fools over there is like, we're giving these people a ride, and they get naked in our boat. What's wrong with them?
Okay, that's a great analogy. Yeah.
But it kind of mixes the whole Garden of Eden thing right in the middle of the thing, because the snake and you know, about the tree, and but the whole thing is, so it's a deck where everybody's a fool rather than just the fool card being the fool. It has its own specific, you know, thing. So
so why don't you go ahead and tell us what each card means? And
well, that's one of the things that I did in addition to the thing. So
you did that. Yeah, but in what order did you start with? That's what I was like confused with.
So let's go over the order. And so we have the world card here on the screen. So do you have any particular thoughts about the world card?
Like, is that the first card in the deck, the world card, or?
No, this is just the order that I did. I shuffle the card, and I shuffle the card, and I wait for something. I do these series in something that aligns enough with the subject. Like,
are we working on the first series, by the way, or is it the second, or is this the first series in the tarot?
It's not my first series. I have a demonology tarot series that I did. It wasn't really a.
Oh, really?
It wasn't really a. I've done different things through the years with tarot, and some of them I haven't released. I didn't do a full series with the Crowley deck, but I've done full series of stuff. That's the next one of the sequence, but I only have.
Oh wow!
But
well, it's an honor to be part of this, I must say.
Every year I try to get a deck and try to have it teach something. Now my Crowley deck has gone up like, it's like there's no way I'm spending $200 for some. It's like, because all these fluffy new age things have taken over. So if you get a good color, a good colored edition of whatnot. Your deck of tarot cards is from 20 years ago and it's still together. You know, people on eBay selling it for $180, and it's like, no way I'm spending that.
You read my mind. Yeah.
Unless I'm a rich person with a museum, I'm not spending money like that. It's like, I saw somewhere where they had a tarot deck that was like, what, $30. They were trying to get $30 a card, but they were willing to get something like $10-15. But they had a deck that was that expensive. Like they had an old deck that before the like 1700s or
Mhm.
or 1600s or something, and they
What?
had some really old cards, and it was such a point where they were selling them individually because they was like, we
Yeah.
can't set, you know, you can't sell this deck.
Mhm.
I mean, because
Oh,
you know, who's going to walk in and
yeah.
have money to pay for a car and
Yeah,
say, I'm buying
exactly.
a tarot deck instead?
Yeah.
But people will buy,
Yeah.
you know, and you can probably sell the cards for more individually than you could, you know,
Oh,
as a
really?
set,
Yeah.
because it's
Oh,
easier. As I'm saying, there's a lot
mhm.
more people willing to spend $30 to have something
Yeah.
in a baseball
Then
card
200.
holder
Yeah.
up on their shelf than
Yeah.
people
Mhm.
than people who have the yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, uh, like when you buy the Crowley tarot card, like the expensive version, do you get like, are those like the original, like the Crowley would use, or are they altered in any way, or?
Well, Aleister Crowley, basically,
Mhm.
there's different the tarot tradition, in a way you could say, got corrupted
Yeah.
because there's
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
there's two bends in the tarot, and Crowley
Okay. Yeah.
takes full advantage of that. Although he doesn't fully advance the
Wow.
deck to the Age of Aquarius. And based on,
Okay. Yeah.
depending on what star you're on, I look at the Age of Aquarius
Yeah.
as where we're at. So when I make a tarot deck for myself, I
Yeah.
include it, you know, so I double up around Mercury, because we
Mhm.
are the messengers of the messengers, and if you're in touch with the spirits, I guess the spirits make you a prophet of them. So there's that. So the
Yeah.
messenger, and then the
Yeah.
ends the sequence and starts the sequence.
Oh
But
shit. Yeah.
so
Okay. Yeah.
he's sort of still kept in the Age of Aries, which is not astronomically accurate. All these
But how?
astrologers and stuff are not using astronomically correct. They're like
Really?
off 33 degrees. Your typical is they're being off about 33 degrees.
Why
So
would it be that? Why wouldn't they be accurate? That's what I wonder now.
because they're looking at traditions from back of this, around the time of
Uh-huh.
the start of Christianity, when it was the beginning of the
Oh,
age of Pisces and stuff like this,
oh,
and
that's interesting.
are in between
Yeah.
Christianity and Judaism, and then there was the
Mm.
when did Abraham supposed to start? Oh, it was the Age of Aries, so that's what they're
Yeah.
keeping. And I don't know. Uh,
Interesting. Yeah.
it used to be if people weren't keeping up with the times, they were trying to do an Age of Leo thing. But
Mm-hmm. What?
I guess
Really?
when Judaism became part of the thing, it was Age of
Oh yeah.
Aries and Pisces, and
They
they've
reversed the
stuck to that.
calendar like many years back and forth. They've been tampering with our calendar, our Gentile calendar,
But
because the Gentile calendar.
there's the twist.
Yeah.
There's the twist. The
Yeah.
tarot has that
Yeah. Exactly.
twist.
Yeah.
They don't keep with the zodiac order. They keep Pisces in
Oh.
place, and they keep Virgo in
Hmm.
place. But they switch
Yeah.
these two cards around.
Yeah. This
They switch the Leo and the
because.
Libra card.
Yep.
So there's that bend. So
Oh
so
yeah.
by letter and number, you have these two bends in the zodiac.
Hmm.
So
And they're using this.
that draws your attention to the
Yeah.
hermit card, and it draws your attention to
Hmm.
the moon card. So
Hmm.
witchcraft and
Oh.
excessive
Uh-huh.
exotericism, where you don't
Yep.
take things literally, like
Yeah. Exactly.
what does the Bible have Paul
Mhm.
say, is,
Yeah.
you know, and
Hmm. It's
Paul
part of their
has
confusion plan. Yeah.
says it's all a speculative thing. So in that sort of thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
this world card here, what
Yeah.
you see there is this guy.
Mhm.
Basically, it's
Can I
like,
see it like in more detail? Like, could you put it up like so that everyone can see like how it looks? Have you done this yourself, by the way, or
what do you mean, done this myself?
like have you painted? Like, where did you get this tarot card?
I didn't paint this deck. I painted my own, and
Yeah.
whether my responding to Ekankar or some other series, are my
Oh, that's
uh,
interesting. Ekankar, yeah.
astrology without idolatry. I show a painting series that I've done, and
Wow. Cool.
I still have a few of them. And if I run
Yeah.
out of them, because I've given them all away as gifts, I'll probably complete another series and then start giving that one out.
Okay.
I have actually started giving that one out. I might as well finish the series. If I've done half the series and I didn't,
Yeah, you might as well finish it, right?
but
Yeah.
I mean, painting isn't the cheapest thing in the world. You see all these people that sit around in their
Mhm.
in their cat in their
Yeah.
$250,000 houses and or million, and it's like, well, I paint all the time. It's like, yeah, but other people can't afford to spend $30 a week painting, or even or more than that, even or something.
Yeah. I mean, how do you paint these tarot cards? I mean, how do you do them? Like, do you cut a piece of paper, like a regular A4 piece of paper, or how do you specifically create your tarot cards? Like, do you use pencils?
Well, I've drawn out decks in my journals before. And that was the main way for a while, because I never really did a painting. That Pilgrimage of the Jinn painting that I did, that's the first big painting I ever did.
The Pilgrimage of the Jinn. Wow.
I had the first on my like the Goedio, like on my thing, I had an experience. It's like the it's like the Goetia sigils were there were beings in the shape of the Goetia sigils. They were very similar. There were some differences. Between the regular, but all colorful. They went into a cube of the Enochian. The Enochian tablets had formed themselves into a cube, and they went into this building, and they came out all shining. And so they went in, so these beings went in and out of me. They went out of my chest, and they went back into my chest. When
are you joking? So interesting.
And the one spoke to me and all that stuff. It's pretty neat stuff. But the cool. But wait. So
how many years? How many? When did you start painting? By the way, like how many years ago did you do this painting?
I don't know. That could have been like 2009 or something like that when I did that painting.
Oh, so you've been doing this for a while, you could say, like 10 years.
Not so much, because I don't have space, and there's certain priorities to make. But okay, so, you see, it's like he's viewing the world through something. Like, so it's like there's almost a crystal, a magic mirror, a crystal ball or something that's weighing him down. But I guess if he got past the if he got past the whole symbolic, if he got past esotericism for itself, maybe he but it not weigh him down. And so because Paul was there saying everything's like whether it was actually true or not, everything's like some sort of hidden dark secret meaning or something.
I mean, most of the esoteric parts of Christianity, they're usually ascribed to Paul, I've noticed. Or like, for example, like the Christ in you bullshit that I was part of, like the New Age. They said the Christ in you, the hope of glory. Who said that one? Wasn't it Paul who said that?
Way too many people. It's like, for example, I will the Golden Dawn material. You may know I have taken. It's like one.
Some interest in there.
One, I will do the full language version, but I won't. But I readjusted it's like, okay, I did a version with if you probably have no idea what Rameumptom means, but basically,
I know.
Stab at the Jews, you could say, if he made the whole thing up. But
really?
But there's a secret linguistic tie to Tiamat and the unicorns, basically. So that's going to not be a pentagram ritual at some point. I'm going to at some point I'm going to render my Rameumptom ritual, and probably just probably just write out the paper and release it that way. I'll try to get it out to a public, see if I can get it published with that. But
awesome.
It's about getting it. It's about getting it out. I'll do the. I don't mind doing the video on my thing like I did with the pentagram, right? But but I have the the whole mythology. But see the world card here, because this guy weighed down. You see you see it on
tell us more about that. So what is that on the card? By the way, that's I see the Earth, but what's the other part there?
Everybody, there's people dressed up as fools everywhere on the deck. So this guy has his big old ears and on his hood.
I mean, it doesn't show very well. Maybe it's your camera, but
my camera is zooming. It changes the colors. it changes colors
Yeah.
on Zoom, and it changes colors on the phone. It's
Yeah,
like,
it
oh
changes
no,
color,
that's
yeah.
too green or too orange. It's like, that's why
Yeah.
I have the LED light set to that.
Okay, yeah.
I have the light set to the orange or the green for a reason. Don't readjust my color, but it readjusts my color.
Yeah.
It's like, no, if you don't want your color readjusted, you got to start spending 4 digits for a camera. It's like,
Yeah, who wants to do that, right? Yeah.
I mean, if
I mean, it's the information that is the most important.
If I was making enough money with my things, and that would make a difference.
Exactly.
My content costs money, and I'm not.
Yeah, your
I'm
content.
certainly not going to be one of these people. I've shuffled the deck, and I will tell your
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
or however else they're going to.
It's all about the facade for these people. The other one, like the New Agers, like it's not about the content; it's about the show. Oh, look at my tarot card. I have flashy gold and glittery, you know.
And honestly, there's
Crystal.
reduced quality. There's less of an issue.
Yeah.
But basically,
Yeah.
the world card is the work is ended, or the work is about to
Yeah.
begin. So
Okay, yeah.
he's resting from his thing, but he can't realize what was
Wow.
there about the world in the first place.
Yeah.
So he hasn't
Okay,
realized the reality of the world. And so like these New Agers say, oh, my reality is reality, and it's like, reality isn't reality just because you're chosen. Just like the world wasn't, like people saying that the world was flat back when people believed it, enough people believed it, and now it's round because people don't believe that anymore. It's like, no, whether the people believed it or not, it's, you know.
Yeah. All right.
But so
that's the first card. So the second card, what is that the one?
So we got the 4 of coins thing, and it looks, you do see coins, I guess.
Yeah.
But they're on top of the basket.
Yeah.
So
all right.
So cool. You're seeing the goods here.
Yeah, there I see some goods. Yeah, there's some barrels
and they're making
goods. Yeah.
Or maybe he's just got a big old bag of money, and it's like, I'm in a back out. I'm in an alley and nobody's watching, and this guy has bags full of money. That's not a smart decision right there.
So that's how you interpret. Is it important in tarot cards that you interpret the pictures? Like, do the pictures have a meaning that they can be deciphered just in the picture, or?
The cards are supposed to arrange an entire opinion of existence. That's one of the real.
Wow.
If you can figure out how to say just about anything with a deck of tarot cards.
A picture says more than 1,000 words, right? Kind of.
And so in the categories and the specifics of whatever deck you're looking at, and I don't know. Maybe he's it's luxury, obviously, and
obviously,
and I don't you know. I don't know. He may with those barrels. He may be ready to party right there. But which is what it's about, because it's the luxury card usually. So
okay, yeah, wow. So what does that mean? Like tarot wise, what does that card symbolize?
Well, I mean, whatever you want to do with it. It's like these threads. A lot of it's like, I think every writer that does it doesn't. Oh, it's not showing the card. I'm trying to.
I know it's not showing very well.
There's
like a scale of some sort, I see.
But yeah, there's a layout of the cards, and one of the things is that I think everybody who does a deck should have something more than just, oh, I'm going to paint an art deck. I don't want an art deck. I mean, if someone gives me an art deck, they can give me an art deck, but I will never buy a tarot deck as an art deck. I don't just want some other collection. I don't want to be one of these people with 300 tarot decks, and I
exactly. No, you don't want to be a unicorn guy.
And they're all Rider Smith versions, and with basically just
pretentious motherfuckers.
But yeah, it's the so you want but every so there's different ways that they categorize the meanings. So people can represent their entire beliefs, or they can connect their entire beliefs to something. You can also look at people how they you can look at people how they react If it's like that's part of the reason people are all
Oh,
video chat. I don't even have to go out. I can look at people and I can talk cards with
yeah,
them, and I can look at how they're reacting and guide the things that way. But
that's enough.
I'm not
Yeah,
doing it in such a way that I'm going to cause anxieties and
yeah.
false
Uh-huh.
hopes and stuff to make it so that they're going to
Yeah,
pay me
to make money, right?
to come see me again. It's like, oh, that was such a feel good reading, or oh, I felt like there
Yeah.
was some answers or something. And
Hmm.
it's like, I am looking at my own
Yeah.
research. That's
Hmm.
why it's honest.
Yep.
Honest was part of
That's your authentic, honest seeker of
honest
knowledge.
was part of my
That's
Skype name. And by honest, I
yeah.
meant, hey, I'm shuffling the cards. I'm thinking about,
Uh-huh.
I'm looking at you to see what
Yeah.
what your reactions
Yeah.
are, to make the thing personal to you. But I'm not claiming that
Yeah.
I shuffled the cards, so therefore, because I shuffled the cards, the spirits are going to tell
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
It's like you answer.
That's what the New Ager would do.
You answer
It would,
yourself. There are beings out there, but
yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
I mean, first they're trying to do this exercise. They're just trying to
Hmm.
exercise everybody, and second,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're trying to
Yeah.
just willy-nilly exorcism. It's like the Golden
Hmm.
Dawn. That's one of the iffy things about the Golden Dawn. They call up these beings and then they exorcise them
Hmm.
later. It's like that's disrespectful.
What?
Let them hang out
Yeah.
in your temple, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, the OTO, as far as I know, is a Jewish plot of Jewish origin. I must say there.
Well,
That's what we believe.
the OTO is pre-Crowley,
Yeah.
and it was
Okay.
it was a side order to the Freemasons, because people wanted the
What?
Freemasons was basically was a men's club with mystical
Uh-huh.
themes, and they had a women's order, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not sure when they had their women's order.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh-huh.
I don't think there's
Yeah.
anywhere near as many women that join. Of course, some of the women are like, well,
Mhm.
okay, we're all wives of the guy of these guys at the lodge. Let's have our own thing. So
Yeah.
they're like,
Oh,
they
yeah.
made their husbands give them a room in
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
I haven't. I was inside a Freemason lodge
Uh-huh.
when they were trying to. The only time I've
Yeah, I
ever
saw a couple of videos of yours where you've been to some lodges there, right?
um
Churches and
I've been to inside a Freemason lodge only.
yeah, I remember a video
Not
of yours.
filming. I was given permission to film outside of Freemason lodge, and I didn't. I did
Yeah.
another video outside of Freemason lodge because they had a big deal about it being a 33-degree lodge and stuff like this. So
Oh, what? I guess the if you find any 33-degree lodges, you definitely get somebody that is curious about going in there, and that's probably you of all people I know. So.
well, I'm gonna if I make my way in North Carolina.
Yeah.
In North Carolina, there's a
Yeah.
the guy who rewrote the Freemason rituals back. Albert Pike. Albert Pike is buried out there.
Oh, yes.
It used to be the he was in charge. He was the
Mhm.
outer head of Freemasonry for a while.
Yep.
And
Uh-huh.
he was given honors.
KKK.
Well, he was
Yep.
given honors in the KKK too. Yes.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
interestingly enough, as a KKK person, he was like,
Yeah.
"No, the black people need the black people need a space. I'm not going to stop
Mhm.
the Pearl Hall lodges." He had the people wanted him to stop the
Wow.
Pearl Hall lodges, and it turns out
Uh-huh.
at the end of his life he wasn't racist. So even though he was KKK, he wasn't racist.
Really?
He believed that if the people had merit, if people
Yeah.
behaved themselves, if people had moral clarity or some accomplishment in business or athletics or something like this,
Yeah.
they should they should be honored with the merit of whatever that is. So
Wow, that's interesting.
but he's
Would you say, based on your knowledge, that Albert Pike was a Nazi, or what's your take on that? What's your take on Albert Pike and his supposed Nazism? Do you think he was like a full-fledged Nazi?
that was way after he died. That was way after he died. So
so they altered his teachings?
The Black Lives Matter. The Black Lives Matter because
Yeah.
of hatred for police, and to the point
Yeah,
of
yeah.
killing police at a much higher
Uh-huh.
rate than they do of unarmed people. Period.
Mhm.
They're like,
Yeah.
but we'll draw out that for the
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
this
yeah.
because we're in the middle of this. But
Yeah.
basically the narrative has been changed about
Mhm.
him because one, Confederacy
Yeah.
Confederacy was about it was about states' rights. It wasn't the New York had twice the slaves of Georgia at the peak of slavery, and New York has more slaves now because of the prison system than almost
Yeah.
the entirety of slavery at any point. So
Oh, fuck
thank
yeah.
you
Yeah.
very much. That's not
Yep.
I'm not approving of
Yeah.
everything that any country
Yeah.
has done in the past hundreds of years,
Yeah.
at least, I would
No,
think.
me neither. Yeah.
I think they
Yeah.
all have stuff to blame. It's like
Mhm.
I used to hang out with a guy who
Yeah.
fled the who fled the Taliban, because when the Taliban took power,
Uh-huh.
they were like, okay, you got the Russians out, but we want education.
Yeah.
Just don't come in with your whips. And
Yeah. Oh, shit.
you got to do something more than criminal punishment. Thank you very much. And they weren't quite doing that, and it wasn't a safe.
Yeah.
So they got power.
Oh, shit.
They got it too quick.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Oh, shit. So what's the third card in the tarot deck?
but basically he rewrote the rituals to be more inclusive. Freemasonry used to be only Christian themes, and Albert Pike made it a little bit broader reaching. And people that's
really?
But a lot of the anti-Freemason stuff is back in the 50s, when a guy Carr tried to mix in the Illuminati and all this other stuff. And so now that the Illuminati idea of lies were out there, then people could scam people with Illuminati stuff.
Fuck yeah!
Just do this weird stuff with me, and you can join the Illuminati. And all these idiots in Hollywood and
these idiots, useful idiots.
They think that's the people who had sex.
The real stuff.
Back alley or back behind a show, are in the back room after their show or whatever. Is why they're rich and famous. It's like, no, you were traveling around LA doing different shows like Ellen did, or you were doing, or Lady Gaga and Cyrus are two people who claim this Illuminati sort of stuff. It's like, no, you were just one of many people, but you're the one that was listed as that ended up famous.
Exactly.
So basically, taking charge of life, and when you got a tarot deck, everything's randomized, so you can respond to basically all of life in different orders when you're not doing things.
Wow.
Now,
cool.
So the love card here, I guess, is the
that's the third one in the series. All right.
And it's different than others because you have a skeleton right in the middle of the love card. So you have an angel and the skeleton, I guess. I don't know.
What? There's a skeleton in the middle, or?
Yeah. Look at that dude right there. There's how can I angle it to get the whole card?
Okay, I see a winged kind of angel there.
Yeah,
and
there's a skeleton right there on the.
There. Yeah, now I saw it. Yeah, on top of the wing. Yeah, there. Yeah, two. I see two skeletons.
So you have Love is Blind and all sorts of stuff. So I don't know. There's.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about this.
Crowley's card, I think, does better in this one in particular because you got the brothers aspect. Because in the Gemini is both represented as the lovers, and it's represented in some cultures as a voluptuous woman, some cultures it's as a boy, as a girl, and the most common, of course, is as the two brothers. And this is just about love, I guess. Although the angel side, that's probably, and it's got claws. It's not just some regular skeleton. This guy's got claws. So I think this is supposed to be the demon and the angel trying to.
Wow. That's interesting.
And so, but they're guiding the reins. They're pulling the reins.
And by the way, just a thought: like if you look at the word love backwards, actually it becomes evil, doesn't it?
Well, pretty close.
There's the skeleton.
Yeah, evil instead of evil.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe, if you look at this, like my interpretation of this card would be like if you take the Jews, for example, or whatever, why do like most people who are evil people, they always come in the name of love. They never come in the name of evil. like dishonest psychopaths and narcissists, evil people, they always dress up in love. Maybe that can be like one interpretation of the skeleton. Like, be careful, like have discernment in love, you know.
And you see this stuff here that
yeah,
rather than love, it's even more of a debating. You got some dumbass leading you, and I do mean donkey because that's a donkey, and blind, and so you see some of the same stuff, but it's like you look at the Bible objectively. I mean, it's mostly good stuff, but the thing is that mostly good stuff still leaves you with issues. Why does the Bible have the mention of hate 10 times as much as it does love? I mean, the love of God is like 11 verses Old Testament. I mean, 4 verses Old Testament, 11 New Testament. And so, but hate.
Like,
So
I'm Jehovah.
This love stuff is so little compared to what 145, 146 mentions of hate, something like. Is it 145 or 146? I don't remember. It's one of those two.
Yeah. Exactly.
So the overwhelming message is hate, and if you look at all this stuff, men love it's like love the world. It's like what they criticize. It's like I'm saying these Christians are. These Christians that talk about Islam are saying, but they say that they accept loving the world and your own desires. And they're not trying to shame the body because they're a bunch of wicked people because they're not trying to shame the body because they're more free. And literally this gesture about some of the founding fathers of my countries would not. They want you to make this gesture in church and stuff like this. They wouldn't, and they wouldn't take the sacrament either. They're like, it's good entertainment, it's symbolic, but I don't believe this stuff. But basically, in the 1700s, they were arguing in the 1700s about how much more slavish Christianity is than other religions, and so rather than free and accepting of your desires and considering yourself worthy, it puts you into it's like really you're arguing that it makes you more of a slave.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the more covert version of Islam, you could say, like more dishonest, the covert kind of evil. I mean, I mean, the Islamists, they can like cut your head, but the Christians, they have the Inquisition instead. So I mean,
the Christians are actually where they got it. That's one of the things that I was saying. One of the things these commentators point out is that if there's something weird in an Islamic or intolerant about about a Muslim commentary, it's usually something they copied from the Christians because the Christians had it, but we don't take it literally anymore.
Yes.
And back in the day,
we don't take literally. Exactly.
We need a more Christian country to implement the death penalty. And so the Muslims aren't allowed to fight in self-defense, but we're allowed to fight to spread Christianity.
Oh my gosh, shit! What hypocrisy there. I mean,
so that was one of the. It's like I don't believe like apostasy, disbelief, blasphemy.
Yeah.
Whatever the actual case of those things are, these shouldn't be things that the state. These shouldn't be things that some country should be involved in.
Yeah, it's like they're turning into politics, sort of.
And that was sort of the thing. It's like there's, it's like you look at these blasphemy punishments in other countries. What actually happens?
Yeah,
they criticized a political leader. It wasn't blasphemy.
Oh my God!
They criticized a political leader.
So that's why.
Saudi Arabia has more laws against practicing and teaching Islam than any other country. They've destroyed more stuff. They've destroyed more stuff from the early period of people who followed Muhammad than everybody else combined. They've destroyed.
Are you joking? Really?
Yeah, the houses of worship that Muhammad used to pray in have been destroyed by the Saudi kingdom.
Yeah.
The only one that they let stay is Mecca and Medina, but they've changed. But they've removed old walls. They've even removed old wall. It's like, this is a surviving wall from the Turkish Empire. No, we're good.
I mean, didn't they bomb Mecca once? I've heard some rumors that somebody was bombing Mecca once, and he was a Muslim.
Well, one of the there's been stuff that's happened, and they've had to rebuild. One of the things that's happened, one of the predecessors of the Saudis that they look up to, the Muawiyah,
Yeah.
attacked Mecca, burnt the building. They had to rebuild the place. Another group from Iran, the Karmites or whatever, however you say it in Persian or something, that because Karmites isn't really how you say their name. Something like that. But they attacked Mecca and they took the stone and left and it wasn't.
Yeah, maybe that was the story I heard. Yeah, it sounds familiar. Yeah.
Which it didn't change things, which shows that things weren't so much about fanatics. It's like, oh, if we don't have the stone, then we can't do a pilgrimage.
Yeah,
We have to abandon prayers.
They themselves weren't so
a lot of faiths that would have destroyed it, but
yeah,
a lot of faiths, the guy dying, like it's like I have a responding to Unicult group on Facebook.
Yeah, you do. You know, wait.
And of course, I don't always agree, but if that woman kills herself, the movement's probably over.
You think so?
And she complains very heavily. It's like, I only have 11,000 subscribers on YouTube. I need to be famous.
Yeah.
It's like, woman, that's a heck of a lot of things. And if you're making she's making enough to actually she has a lifestyle that's a little bit more expensive. It's like, even microdosing drugs. If you have to spend $50 a day using drugs, and you're probably not living on your on a minimum expenses, and you probably need to have a separate job to pay for that. So her cult, but her cult's starting to pull in some money, not that much, but especially when you live in California, it's actually she has enough to pay rent, so she wants to pay other things. She doesn't go to work.
Wow, you keep an eye on her expenses too, it seems. Like you've done some research on that woman.
But it's an area, as my videos commenting have made and talking to people about it have made get more than my average views. So there's places where I can have an effect. It's not that it's the most important thing to talk about, but it's where I can have an effect. And some people
wow, that's smart move there, I must say.
some people will memorize huge volumes of stuff. Some people are better at stuff like this. If you're going to present spirituality, some of those people, they do their thing, and me, I do I make my contribution.
Yeah, you do your completely own thing.
Potential, but then again, like for example, if there's literally millions of people who've memorized the Quran, there's way too many people out there to expect. If you're going to do that for anything other than spiritual reasons, there's way too many people out there to expect it to ever turn a profit on the thing. So it's something to get into. Like that's the thing.
Okay, that's smart.
People say, "Oh, you've made money, or you're doing this to be popular." It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly.
I know right well if I quit. If I don't make if I'm not doing authentically the content that I want to do for my spiritual journey, I'm sure I can edit things down where I can have more subscribers. I've had probably 2,000 people subscribe and unsubscribe from my channel.
Wow.
Because I am
inspiring.
Either they like one video and don't realize there's other videos like that, or they're like it's like
exactly.
It's like if they look up a tarot, like if they were to look up one of the tarot videos and series.
That's a good example. Yeah.
All your videos aren't tarot. It's like you haven't watched the that entire series, let alone any of the other tarot series. So if that's what you came for, why not watch that? Or why not realize that? Okay, and like in September, I think I'm going to start up again with the do some Lovecraft. There's a book. There's a book with some of the poems and stuff that I think I'm going to try to borrow, and then I'm going to try to do videos with that. But
wow. Like you seem to have very much fun when you're doing your stuff, because
I try to make
the originality of it. Yeah.
And whether I'm singing it or not, I'm trying to get into my reading. Whether I'm responding or not with words other than what's in the text, I'm trying to get into my reading.
Exactly. Yeah.
And well, the page of swords here. We'll might as well.
That's which card are we on now, by the way?
So the page of swords, it was reversed in what we're looking at. And so you see,
it looks very reversed. Yeah.
Flash. Well, well, reversed was the order that I talked about it, because I do include reversals. Although some
Yeah.
decks I don't like. I like a deck, the Crowley deck that I have. You can't do reversals.
Yeah.
You can tell rights from up from the back, but then you can, because you're not
Okay.
supposed to just flip the card to fit in with. Oh, I don't want it to be a reverse, so I'm going to skip that one.
Yeah. Okay.
But this guy is doing something foolish, of course. He's got not all of them will do something.
Yeah,
foolish.
he looked like the fool, I must say, like a clown or.
But so he's with a knife. So you got to have the sword, the sage guy with the knife. But licking knives and stuff like that, dangerous, stupid stuff like that. It's like probably, but enough of probably people end up castrated and all sorts of stuff because they've probably it's like it's a stunt I can pull. I can stab him out with a knife, but I probably won't stab my hand because I'm good enough at it. But when you mess up, really, I mean, why are you disabled? Oh, I stabbed 2 of my fingers, and that was my working hand, and I don't know what job I can do now because everything I've been able to do was relied on that,
Okay, now I got it.
Or jumping into the swimming pool and you miss, and
right.
people jumping off of buildings, and it's like, I got drunk and I broke my pelvis, and it's
good example there. Yeah.
Because usually the person's drunk at the same time.
I can relate to that one. Like most of the people, like I've had some friends, like they usually take these, alcoholists and druggists, and they take their benzo tablets, and they're a good example of what you're saying right now. Like, okay, I want to show that I'm a man, or I'm very strong, but it's all futile what they're doing. Like, where's the real strength in showing? Okay, I cut my finger, I'm a real man, I'm bleeding, but you have to be tough. You have to be able to manage pain. But you see those.
Well, I mean, I haven't been in person to this, although I was. I was around the. I could have seen it if I wanted, but I'm like, I didn't go out of my way to see it. But I heard one of these Ashura morning things. I didn't. I encountered these people before. I didn't know they did that. They probably had to get the bigger building in order to do that. But they, you had this group of some of the most attractive women I've ever seen going into a Muslim center. Then you hear them beating themselves. But you watch people, particularly you see it on the news or something, and you see these people are watching either because they're doing it because they want. Not everybody, but there's always people in the crowds that are watching other people. It's like, oh, I got to do it more because they're doing it, and they might not see that.
Like Steve-O, for example.
So they're deciding how much to hit themselves based on looking around. And
I mean, the Jews, they promote this culture too. This cringe, or what's called like, this is how you're supposed to be a man. You have to be able to drink this many beers, and and all these stupid nonsense that people take pride in, so to show that they're, fitting into the man stereotype, or,
Well, the Page of Swords here is the beginning here. Might as well hand things out as a thing. You got, only one tree is developed. So you got 4 different trees growing, I guess. But the birds are one of the animals sort of associated with swords. And so you got the one bird down at the trunk, but you had the one bird up in the leaf. You got the 3 birds in the nest up in the leaves. So,
cool.
But the side note that I was going to say, does he have a? No, I don't. He's not one of the ones with the flask or something. But it's like if people are going to have there's so much that you get into the experience, like music. Now people with their drugs and all this other stuff, but do you have to, you can people can stop at smaller doses. They don't have to, you don't have to be like this. How does Crowley, how do so many people draw the 7 of Cups is debauchery, and debauchery is basically it's not that necessarily the thing in itself is a problem. It's that you've had so much that it's like you're overflowing, but not in the good way. And people with their music, if they move along with their music, that's you don't have to listen to it nearly as much, and you don't have to stress yourself out by making it You listen, you pick your sequence and your dance, and you get
Mhm.
into the feeling, and you get in the
Mhm.
feeling, but you don't
Yeah.
overwhelm
Yeah.
yourself, make yourself depressed all day because you're just
Yeah.
blasting things all the and that's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
I see with a lot of that's what I've seen with a lot of people through the years, is that when they're not
Mhm.
working, they just spend so much time watching TV and listening to music and not getting anything done really, that they're so
Wow.
stressed out at the end of the day than if they went to work.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Wow.
why
Shit.
can't you use this stuff to enhance your life rather than just overdo it?
Yeah.
But, yeah, the
Oh, that's.
pages are often the princess card, but
Mhm.
in this deck they're all pages. I like it when they're
Okay. Yeah.
princesses, not because of some feminist thing where you balance things out, but um,
Yeah.
you already have the prince and the king, so you already have a
Mhm.
development, and you have on the female side the development. But it's not
Okay. Yeah.
just not about male and female. And everybody, you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
the birth cards.
Mhm.
Like, I guess if we finish this,
Mm.
I'll show you the
Yeah. All
the
right.
cards of the one thing. But
Yeah.
oh,
Awesome.
here's the other thing. So do
Yeah.
you have any thoughts about this dude with a knife and the birds?
Um. That's a good question. I mean, the other one was easier since I've been thinking about the love theme a lot more than this one. But what was the name of the card again?
The page of swords.
The Page of Swords. Um. Well, I can just intuitively say spontaneously what comes out of me. Like you mentioned, the birds, they symbolizing swords, and the Page of Swords. Um. Hmm.
And
Like okay, yeah, 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 yeah. Now
he's like
I
stage
got.
one.
Yeah. Sorry.
He's like stage one of the four people, and I guess stage five, like the
Yeah.
ace or something, could be seen as
Uh,
as the birds.
okay. Yeah, that's thanks for the clues. So what can I make of this based on all these clues you've given me? So the sword represents fighting, and fighting for a good cause, I would say, like a meaningful, valuable cause, not just futile causes. A strength, I like a real strength, not fake strength, maybe. Like use your strength in a wise way, so to speak. That's how I would maybe interpret this card. Would you say it's accurate, intuitive feel of the card, or
Well,
what would you say?
that's open enough, and him
Yeah.
having swords
Mm.
makes a distinction, and one of
Yeah.
the things you got there with his blade there sticking out.
Hmm.
Yeah, it looks
Choose your fights, maybe.
it
Maybe
looks like
choose.
from
Yeah.
like from the smaller picture that
Hmm.
this would be a lot clearer on the screen, but it's faint.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say. Yeah, it is. I
It's
see
doing
that.
that. It's
Yeah.
doing that on purpose to us.
Yeah.
But see, he's sticking out his tongue. Maybe he's hungry, so he needs to.
Hmm. Yeah.
Just like
Oh,
later
that's
in the
interesting.
Thor's deck, he needs to something needs to die for him to progress
Yeah.
intellectually. And I don't
Hmm.
know, maybe that false trinity of birds at the top,
Hmm.
kill the mother and eat the
Yeah.
cut the neck and eat the parts of the head, I guess.
Oh shit, that sounds scary.
uh,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you could like it. Hmm. Uh.
well,
But there was.
symbolically, of course, it's like you don't literally have to go and kill your guru. You just have to realize
Yeah.
maybe the guru is not quite correct. And
Yeah. Yeah.
again, it's like
Yeah.
it's like two
Oh.
arguments that
Yeah.
they were making, that some of these
Yeah.
commentators that I'm looking at are making. Some of these Christian commentators,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
Islam says that that a prophet is to convey the message as is, and they were inspired.
Yeah.
But Christianity, you sit around and think about what a good Christian might do, and that's really what Paul does. So it's like more directly philosophy. But then again, everybody's
Yeah.
in the New Testament, they
Uh-huh.
say no philosophy ever. So basically,
Yeah.
Paul and his buddies were the last people to do it, and no one else is going
Wow.
to. That's
That's
biblical
interesting.
Christianity right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That was a good one. Yeah. I
but
bet
yeah,
Christians haven't heard about that one. Many of them.
But if the structure's there and you can use it,
Mhm.
that's one of the things. You don't have to.
Yeah.
It's like you don't. It's like the Kabbalah. You don't have to believe in Judaism for those structures to work for people.
Oh,
But
really? Yeah.
if you start acting like you have to read some rabbinic
Yeah.
account or Torah
Mhm.
or something like this, and they have to.
Mhm.
But what about the contradictions? How
Yeah.
3 people who killed Goliath? Which Goliath story
Yeah.
include? But
Uh-huh.
anyways,
Hmm.
this deck is beyond the thing. But you have
Uh-huh.
you have a lot
Yeah.
of you have a lot of false 3 trinities there.
Mhm. Interesting.
So we have so
Oh, was that Jesus on the card, or who's that one standing there?
yeah, I wear a robe or even solid white clothes, and people
Yeah.
like, you need to sober up, dude. Don't come at me from back behind from back behind the convenience store
Uh-huh.
and say, "Are you the Lord?"
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And probably tell
I mean,
people at church, that I had a
yeah.
vision of Jesus the other day, and
Yeah. I mean, I think I work that too. I have these associations. Like when I see a bearded man in a white robe, I usually think of either Thomas de Leva, or I'm thinking about Jesus Christ. So
well, especially he's got this
yeah,
brown hair with the red blonde tin, like some
yeah,
Scottish dude or something.
uh-huh.
Which
Oh yeah,
that's the appearance I take on. So, and
okay, yeah, yeah, exactly,
particularly,
yeah,
particularly the past
okay,
15 years or
yeah.
something, there's been more
Oh
comments.
really? What?
And around 30, 33, stuff like this, it
Yeah.
really got bad.
Oh shit.
It's like, I
At
want to wear
33,
white
yeah.
clothes in summer when I'm not on the days I'm not working sometimes.
Maybe you're the reincarnation of Jesus Christ.
Well, the Golden Dawn. Okay, here I've mentioned the Golden Dawn, and I've mentioned the
Yeah.
whole where I got the.
Yeah.
I've altered it. It's like, it's interesting. Okay, you make these pentagrams and you stab them when you say the names. When you say it. So that's the whole
Yeah.
intention that you can use with the pentagram
Yeah.
ritual, that they probably didn't intend. That you can actually, that people are actually using the pentagram ritual
Mhm.
as an anti as an anti
Uh-huh.
anti-Jehovah, anti-monotheistic sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because you don't stab when you say the angel names. You stab when you say the,
Oh, like EA Quitting does in his video, yeah.
you got
Yeah.
the
in his yeah, the
fire
lower,
banishing and
yeah.
earth banishing and
Yeah, fire and
water
earth
banishing
and air.
banishing.
Yeah.
And then I show how on my thing, I show you how you can have it pointed right, pointed left, pointed up, pointed down, basically. But I don't advocate the banishing part.
Oh wow,
So
really?
because
That's cool.
I
Yeah.
make it evoking and invoking.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
Because, as I was saying, I don't want to deal with any entity that I'm going to have to banish or whatnot afterwards.
Yeah.
Now, when I take when I take
exactly.
charge of something spiritual or objects or something, I may like when I've done pentagram rites over churches.
Yeah.
Some of my videos have
Oh, you done some.
I've performed a pentagram rite waving over the church.
Oh wow, shit.
But or I visit the Georgia Guidestones. I do my demonology pentagram rite in that one.
Yeah.
And then I get interrupted. Then I have to cut things short because some Christians showed up and you scared you.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm just doing a video, and
no, I'm just doing it. Yeah.
And you're 20 minutes before the police can show up. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, finish up quick
because people have shown up there with their intolerance. Either it's one of the most vandalized monuments in my country. Until the whole Black Lives Matter thing started vandalizing stuff left and right, it was really one of the most vandalized things in the country.
Really?
Like every year, even with the cameras and the police and the police, there's a monitor in the police station watching the thing. And even then,
What?
people will still come there with paint and try to drive their truck through the gates
Uh-huh.
and get to it.
What? Are
Because
those people aware that it's monitored, or why
well,
would it?
some they just feel it's like
Yeah.
some non-Christian guidance or something like that. Thomas Paine definitely it is
Wow.
Luciferian, like whatever, but
Yeah.
you know, you
Uh-huh.
have to be a devil worshiper to appreciate it. It does have some mysteries,
Yeah.
but the conspiracy theory that Alex Jones and all that
Uh-huh.
stuff like this have stirred up the thing,
Yeah.
like some anti-Christian
Uh-huh.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
other
mean,
people's houses are worship. It's like what happened. It's like what
yeah.
did the Christians do through Europe? They destroyed everything they could. That
Mhm.
whatever. Other cultures, like for example,
Mhm.
it wasn't until after the colonial period that Muslims, for
Yeah.
example, went about destroying temples. They used to be like, well, whether it's used
Uh-huh.
or not, people can just,
Yeah.
the ancient
Yeah.
Egyptian stuff, the ancient stuff in Asia and stuff like this.
Oh, that's a good example. Yeah. Mhm.
But the
Mhm.
Mongols and the Turks were pretty destructive,
Yeah.
particularly before,
Okay. Yeah.
they were Muslim. They went through and they killed
Mhm.
masses of people. Taoism
Mhm.
probably would have been a lot more well known if it wasn't for Genghis
Yeah.
Khan and stuff, because they said
Oh, yes. Mhm.
these abstract people often, okay, they were abstract people often, whatever, but
Yeah.
so
Uh-huh.
most of what is known about Taoism was lost under the Mongols.
Oh, especially Taoism. That's kind of, that's because, I mean, I can understand why that one is lost, because that's like the purest of them all in terms of like being part of the indigenous uh, natural wisdom of, being as close to as nature as possible. And that's why I love Taoism so much. Osho, the Indian guru, he writes a lot of Taoism. And what else can we like? What else can you come up with that is the purest kind of religion? Because I believe that China was destroyed by communism, and
Quite
China was,
largely, a lot of the stuff was, and nowadays
yeah.
it's like too devaluing.
Mhm.
It's like Nietzsche was right with
Yeah.
he
Mhm.
missed that the celebrity
Oh,
and
he was.
star and stuff would become the idol too, but the idol of the
Yeah.
state. My country's
Mhm.
really gone in this idol of the state thing right now, to the point where you have some senile old man in office
Uh-huh.
who. But actually, I think it may be more.
Yeah.
This guy, you got a guy who volunteered
Yeah.
to do the Ku Klux Klan recruiter funerals, and has
Uh-huh.
done stuff specifically to make things bad for the black community. All of a sudden, because of Black Lives
Mhm.
Matter, he's
Uh-huh.
I think he realizes what Black Lives Matter is going to do. I think he realized what the
Oh, shit.
immigration thing is doing.
Yeah.
They even
Oh my gosh.
even went on CNN saying that they're
Yeah.
replacing the vote. They are
Wow.
bringing all these people in to try to
Yeah.
replace the vote, like they did in California. California always voted
Uh-huh.
for a Republican president for all
What? It
those
did?
for more than a lifetime, more than almost anybody.
What?
What, 80
Yeah.
years or something like that. They always vote. So 20 elections in a row
Uh-huh.
or whatever. They always voted
What?
for a Republican, and then they changed
Yeah.
the rules. They added 10.
Yeah.
They added 10 million people to
And
the,
suddenly they changed it. Like, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
and 10
Uh-huh.
million votes meant that it became a different state, rather than being tough on rather than the
Yeah. Wow.
the toughness on crime and the control of
Yeah.
immigration. They lifted a lot of that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit.
But
Wow.
so there's an end game that's not quite as much, and maybe they do see what's going on,
Mhm.
saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
is it
Uh-huh.
reducing? Oh, it's making things less safe. It's causing
Mhm.
far more deaths, far
Uh-huh.
more
Yeah.
damage." And
Mhm.
maybe a lot of the people supporting that are secretly like,
Mhm.
"This, I can look like I'm not racist and be the
Mhm.
most racist person around." That's what I
Yeah.
think some of these people are saying.
Wow.
But it's like
I
the
mean,
Michael Jackson song.
yeah.
All I want to say is
Uh-huh.
that they don't really care about
Care
us.
about it.
I don't know. That's not a very good. But,
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
That's a good one. I mean, there's something with that. Michael Jackson, he was aware of the Jews, the Jewish problem, in some extent, I think, and he spoke against his own company, Sony or whatever it was. But
Well,
I'm not really sure.
He was aware there was a system to manipulate us, and how definitely made the point that.
Or did he take advantage
prison
of?
System isn't is mainly not about about punishing and keeping safe. It's well, it's dehumanizing people more than punishing people. First of all,
yeah. I mean, to me, he didn't say anything new. He didn't bring anything new to the table. He was just a symbol for the mainstream idea that was already there about the police. I mean, okay, they don't care about it. I mean, okay, you have to remind people that they don't care. Can't they figure that out themselves? Like, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure about Michael Jackson.
Well, it was more about the system. The police generally do, but then again, a lot of people, it's just a job, like everything else. But it's like, but if they're being attacked and they have to worry about being with you know, it's like if you can kill to stop a rape, why can't you kill to stop somebody from taking you a needle and probably killing you in 20 years that way? Now they try not to do that stuff, but it's like there's always somebody in the department that's been stabbed or something like that by one of these, or bitten by one of these people, that high risk people, and it's like you know, and people are being attacked. You know, there's it's look at what they have to deal with, and they're tempted by responding to the thing of the. If they have to respond to the criminal element, they have to be. They're out there being tempted. There's always potentially bribed and.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Oh yeah.
Yeah, ways to bribe.
You have to tempt them first.
By that. They're tempted. They're tempted by the fact they know stuff's out there and they know they have opportunity because they're like, oh, I'll let this slide and you can, you know. So they without it being offered that they have opportunities.
Yeah, exactly.
And on top of that, they can be bullied and their families threatened and stuff like this too.
Yeah.
But okay.
This
Queen of Swords is the second to last card. So she's out there.
Queen of Swords.
So she's trying to lead her foolish self, I guess, because that fool's hat, it's down beside, but she's got it on a leash.
Okay. Wow, interesting.
So that's kind of like the person that we're talking about in a way, that the but of course in your typical Queen of Swords, the Queen of Swords is basically cuts off the head, and therefore the false ideas have been removed. You still have your ego. You still have a super strong ego. That's the thing that these Westerners don't realize. You don't get rid of the ego. You just get rid of the false ego.
Yeah, that's a good one. I've been saying that for centuries.
Here, she hasn't quite gotten rid of the false ego, I guess, the fool. But but you think, but you also think in the negative, because every card has this negative and positive view to it. And and this Unicron person, she put on a pointed hat witch costume to cry live stream. Literally, or she dresses up.
Oh, by the way, I got a visit now. Can we talk again in? I think it's 4 o'clock. Can we meet again in 5 minutes?
Oh well, I'll pause this and we can get back.
Oh, there's one card left, or
that we haven't talked about. So the last card here is the Temperance card, and
that looks like a that guy doesn't look like Jesus, but it looks like he has it looks like a female entity more, and it's like a flowery kind of female entity. Am I right?
He's got his woven hair. I think that his hair kind of cuts off at the shoulders, and it's a squarer face. So I don't think it's supposed to be a female, but hanging down the water pitchers. Now you see the art card, the art card, as it could be sometimes also called.
Yeah.
But he's balancing. I guess he's pouring the two things together. It's a very alchemical card. It's not as Crowley deck. It's pretty clear. Crowley kind of like puts everything into one. The Golden Dawn if you've seen a Golden Dawn deck, they tell you to either you consider making both things. You got Ascent and Descent, and so you don't really have that in this card, which but you actually, I guess you kind of do, because you got the mountains. You either go down towards the earth or you go down towards the artistic
mountains.
But there's buildings in those mountains, so so you do have an ascendancy of man, but you're mixing, you're between the two, basically. And so but you're but I guess he's watering flowers, so rather than putting out his pictures like and collecting new, like the star card. The star card is you're taking in one to put the other. He's putting the two together to produce something. So
you can see
the male and the female, and
I see that too.
You got air and mountains and
stuff. So I mean, you can see that. I mean, I see the same.
You don't really see fire. Fire is not really represented in this card.
Oh, really? Okay. I mean, you can see the two in everything. Even up, it's his hair. There's a duality there. Like it goes throughout the whole card.
Oh, the cap definitely.
The cap,
because you always and it's pointy little things. So he's being practical and he's being, kind of joyous at the same time there. So I can't pull them out as quickly here, but so I have a sequence that I go through, and so in terms of the in terms of the cards, and so we got the full, we got the the part of the year we're at right now, and I'm starting, which is never good, and the universe. So the trump cards, I divide the year into 8 points. So for the green point, I'm going to move this a little bit here so I can. That's not good. Where's my screen?
It doesn't show very well here either.
Okay.
There now.
I want to make sure that the cards in full. So for the spring equinox, which was the most recent one, we got the full. We have the moon and the universe, and so there's that. And so if you have any initial thoughts of that while I'm arranging things here, the start of the bright quarter, which will be a Tuesday night. We have the Magus. We
Magus.
Oh wait, no, that I read the wrong one. We got the Lovers card again, which is interesting. So we're looking 6 and 6, definitely. The Tower.
The Lovers card.
So we got the Tower here. So.
The Tower. We didn't cover that one.
Wait.
But I remember you mentioning it in the beginning. Like there was a tower in there.
The Emperor. The Emperor. Wait, Lovers, Tower, the Aeon. Oh, okay, that's what I I knew I missed a card of. So the next seasonal point, of which that yellow thing that I haven't showed it in the program, so I'm going to change my virtual background. I could send you the file because you can't see this whole thing. Let me send you the file, but this is my
wow. But it's very many symbols on this one. Do you know what each symbol means in this, or?
Oh yeah. I have my own intentions. As I'm saying, these art collages basically represent like a ritual. They're like my grimoire. They're like my recent grimoire of the season. And sometimes it takes me. Sometimes it takes me the entirety of the 7 weeks in order to compose them. It takes
Wow.
7 weeks in between one point of the year and another. Well, I
What?
don't work on it completely solid, and it's the only thing I'm doing, but sometimes
Yeah.
it really does take me that long. It's like I figure out what
Mhm.
I'm going to do. It's like this year,
Mm.
my summer solstice thing,
Mhm.
which we're not talking
Mhm.
about here, um,
Yeah.
is now not the same graph. It's that was my last one that involved Temple of Blood, but
Mhm.
because Temple of Blood has new material
Yeah.
that I haven't talked about. I'm definitely going to
Mhm.
um,
Yeah.
get into some of that with the
I bet. I bet they update the new material very often. They have to change many times.
not well the changing locations and per se how they deal with it, because if you're doing
Mhm.
anything except ordering the book
Mhm.
off of I think
Mm.
that was my card already.
Oh.
Um,
Mhm.
hang on. Um,
What did you lose?
no, I mean the cards for Beltane are the start of the Bright Quarter, the Lovers, the Tower, and the Aeon. So
Okay. Yeah.
again, the 6 card, because I
Mhm. Oh, that's an interesting one.
so
Oh, wow.
basically
It's so many.
this card's like a marriage. The card is like a marriage. So of course I mentioned love in that context on this card,
Mhm.
on my graphic there.
Yeah.
And I got
Uh-huh.
bees, so of course I'm talking about bees.
Mhm.
But bees in terms of an active example for the human being.
Mhm. Wow.
So you got the brothers down there. You got the
Yeah.
egg, and like I was talking
Wow.
about the temperance card in the Crowley deck,
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
the eagle and the lion change colors as you go along, and that sort of stuff. So you realize that there's an alchemy happening,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
there's you got the Eve and Lilith, so the different sides of the woman, and so yeah, various things going on there. But
Oh, yeah. It doesn't show very well on the picture, but I think I like the colors. It's very beautiful. And
well,
what?
it shows and pull full apart. So I'm moving about to try to give
Yeah.
the right flashes at
Oh,
the
wow. That was massive. This card. There's eye there, and I see money, and I see a
and
lot of rays coming out from something. Tell us
yeah,
more about this one.
some of the a lot of the tarot has shifted one letter over, and
Mhm.
so the Tower card used to, instead of the letter P, it used to have the ain, but as I
Mhm.
said, the Crowley card, it's far more Kabbalistic than almost every deck out there. I think even the Hermetic
Yeah.
deck doesn't have any much. But say
Okay.
you got the Demiurge right there,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know
Demiurge.
the
Yeah.
Demiurge symbol. Um,
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
remember the blue initiation that I shared. It was
Mhm.
one of the things there was that
Yeah.
you you take over the place where the Demiurge would have had a place in one's life. That was one of the
Mhm.
things I was trying to say there. Is
Wow.
this false god thing? You kind of
Yeah. Mhm.
so the tower,
Yaldabot.
the destruction is needed to free is to
Mhm.
free yourself. So it's sort of a Queen of Swords type of card in that way. But there's
Yeah.
a
Okay.
rebuilding. So
Mhm.
the rays are coming down. There's
Mhm.
there's the descent, and then there's a rise. So through
The
ascent,
seven rays.
rise,
Right.
you're dealing
Mhm.
you're not just breaking the prison, you're getting something.
Mm.
But see, but
Mhm.
you're also ready to leave the body. In that card, you're ready to leave the
Mhm.
body. This card, you're
Yeah.
ready
Okay.
to work together. In the Lover's card, you're ready to work with others. In the
Yeah.
Aeon card, you're willing to you're
Mhm.
know that things change over time.
Okay. Yeah.
And sometimes you got to be silent, sometimes you're active,
Yeah.
but sometimes you're passive in different ways. But I don't think necessarily that it's
Mhm.
every so many thousand years or something like that the spirits change, the spiritual worlds change their order or something like that.
Wow. Yeah.
But I don't know, Crowley was weird. As much as varied as he is and stuff, it's like he's trying to make Satanism and Christianity and Islam and everything all work together.
Yeah.
Whether it does or not.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm back. I'm going to return here. So okay,
Mhm.
so we have the card
Yep.
in return in terms of the seasons, which
Yep.
so the full card, which we've already shown here.
Mhm.
Typically, he's the guy hanging over the cliff and all that. The next
Mhm.
is the bright card of the year. So this is the fire card.
Yep.
So, but we're not
Awesome.
we're not quite there yet. So I guess this is the season card of right now when we're doing the program. I plan to release this in the 5th of July, by the way.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And oh wait, no, I can.
Oh,
There's a space on the 1st of July. Might as well make it the 1st of July.
okay. Yeah. Okay.
So we got the card. So in April. So April I have the Prince of Swords and the Moon. So we've already had we've already had the Moon here.
Yeah.
You know, the Moon card. The light and the darkness working together. It's sort of a witchcraft card. It's, you know, you got illusion. Very interesting that Pisces is the symbol of both illusion and of Christianity. But
okay. Yep, that's interesting combo.
So you got your darkness overshadowing the light, but you know, you're working it. So that's the difference there.
Wow, interesting. Yeah.
But April has the Prince of Swords. You also the Queen of Disc. The Queen of Disc is sort of the next card in the sequence. But
oh, the Queen of Disc. Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, the Queen of Disc.
That will be for the next season.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, if you'll, you know, because I as I'm saying, I am Age of Aquarius reading.
Yeah.
So the lion is turned green. The fire sign is Taurus. The brightest time of the brightest month of the year is Taurus. So.
Oh, really? Yeah. Wow, interesting.
So the Prince of Swords. Okay, where's
Taurus?
Swords? I'm looking for the Prince of Swords. So as I'm saying, this is for you to you know, after I say my initial, you can totally take interpreting things.
Yeah. You know, I'm a little worried about
Prince
of
Swords. Yeah, this you're worried about what?
Yeah, I like usually when I speak, I'm very loud in my voice. I can't speak otherwise, but I'm not really sure about the rules here, like how loud you can be. But yeah, I'm a little worried about how the neighbors will. But I think it's very, very well isolated here. But never mind.
On my end, things seem okay.
Okay.
Particularly, you know, particularly since we're obviously not.
Yeah.
Full.
Well, I'm gonna try to keep my voice
things.
down a little bit.
Rather than the horses of the chariot, this is kind of a chariot. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
Remember the Hindu myths, you got your 3-horse self. So basically, it's not your feelings, it's not your thoughts, it's not your emotions. You're the one who's going ahead.
Drives all of it.
Or it doesn't have to.
You're aware of all of it, yeah.
You know, but this guy's definitely in charge of the thing. He's not being.
Yeah.
You know, he's not just going along with things.
No, certainly not. Yeah.
And so we are clear over, you know, 2 of Cups, 3 of Swords, 4 of Swords, 5 of Swords, 6 of Discs, 7. You know, so we're on towards. Right now we're.
Wow.
So we got the 5 of Swords. Obviously, going to try. The 5 of Swords would be every 10 days you get a card. So you get the 5 of Swords, and then you have the 6 of Disc. So the 6 of Disc would be the next seasonal point. but the
Yeah.
Five of Swords will be the one here. So let's see
Mhm.
about getting
Yeah.
this out.
Yeah.
So it's not really the program, and I did offer that to someone else, but
Yeah.
oh, the Six of Dicks is the next seasonal point here. How
Mhm.
is that seen?
Yeah. Oh wow. 6 of Decks. That's the Star of David right there, you could say.
Well, you got the rose on the cross, which
Yeah, Rosy Cruz. Yeah. The Rose Cross, yeah.
and the Six of Discs. Yeah. Well, it's the card representing success.
Mhm. Really?
Oh, which sword?
What kind of success or?
Okay, Five of Swords. Oh, that's
Yeah.
an interesting one.
Yeah, okay.
Five of Swords. Well, it's interesting because people don't understand
Yeah.
what's on the card.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, was I have two piles here. That's why I can't find it.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's the one. I might as well make that thing there. The Five of Swords is sort of the defeat card, and
Mhm.
well, he was for the well, that's another 5 card.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not showing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes what's going to show, but the
Yeah.
other 5 card. So this is the current 5 card,
Oh, that's a beautiful one.
and
That looks like a
you
pentagram.
have little remnants of swastikas hidden amongst it.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, you do? Oh, I can't see that one.
yeah, get it to.
Yeah. You need to get a better camera, I must say.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah, I think I see the.
it's response, and
Yeah,
it's
I see the swastika now. Yeah.
but yeah,
It's in silver. Yeah. Wow.
so amongst the shards, but all
Mhm.
all the blades have combined to each other to kind of
Yeah.
form its thing.
Wow.
There.
Cool.
So obviously the next one is you got the the prince and the
Yeah.
princess and the ace.
Mhm.
You always
All
have
right.
the same. For about 3 months, you end up with the same princess and ace. So
Mhm.
um,
Okay. Yeah.
so in this case, we're talking the ace of swords,
Mhm.
the princess of swords,
Yeah.
and then we're going to go into wands. So
Yeah. Wands of Swords.
so the warming
Yeah.
quarter, or what used to be called spring, you have.
Mhm. Oh wow.
That's the
Those
princess.
are some really beautiful tarot cards, I must say.
So the princess.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them really cut it short, meaning wise and stuff you can do with it. But see,
Yeah.
the princess, just like the page of what we're. Oh, then we have the page. Weren't we going over the page and
Mhm.
the Ship of Fools reading? But see, you got there's a task. Oh, and the
Yeah.
task is it's not just up. There's stuff along the sides, because
Mhm.
that's one of the things that you got to do when you got work to do. When you got
Yeah.
a spiritual, intellectual mission, you got stuff that's just,
Yeah.
it's not just ding along the side. You still have your stuff around you to deal with, and
Oh yeah. Yeah. Psychological
stuff
problems.
around
Yeah.
them. And
Mhm.
of course the ace of swords there, where you have
Yeah.
the Greek word for will, and
Mhm.
you're poking through the crown, so you're
Mhm.
the ace is always at the top of the deck. And
Oh really? Yeah.
I mean,
Cool. Wow.
Kabbalistically and otherwise, the ace is always up there at the top. And oh, some of those
Mhm.
black streaks,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
I repainted my own I painted a stick version of this deck basically to
Wow.
symbolically.
You did?
So I called it the
Yeah.
company, the Asen Tahote, or the Company of Thoth deck is what I called it. But That's
Uh,
gone. It's all out of my hands. I don't know. I don't remember
okay, yeah,
who got what, and I certainly
yeah,
don't know where they put it.
okay, yeah.
So the ace, the princess always, the ace is like the throne, and the princess
Okay, yeah,
is sits in the throne. But
okay, yeah,
rather than calling somebody a
yeah, obviously.
princess as an insult, the princess just means, there's
Mhm.
potential. There's potential. So the
Oh, okay.
most potential of a character in the realm of fire of will is
Oh, wow.
the princess. And this card, of course, is one of the cards of the deck. That means this deck is banned in most prisons in America.
Really? Yeah. Oh, what's that one?
And
That's
this is the ace card. So you
uh-huh.
have you have a bunch of flames forming a wand, and or
Yeah.
around the wand. You could
Oh,
say the
yeah.
wand is of lightning. Um,
Yeah, I see lightning, I see flames. Wow. So what does this card mean?
so now that we've had now that we've dug
Yeah.
out all the cards. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And
Yeah.
okay, so I guess one thing that's left is to
Yeah.
talk about the so
Mhm.
it's Sunday. It's Sunday, so we've got
Oh,
the
yeah, it's
day
Sunday.
card.
Talking of the sun.
So you got the day card.
Yeah.
Let's pull out the day cards. So
Yeah. I'm keeping my voice a little
card for
down there.
Sunday,
Just,
I'm
yeah.
not sure how well you can see that, so
Mhm.
we'll leave that for the time, because I
Yeah.
made an extra point to clean these out for whatever. And you have the Magus card.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
okay, let me pull up the screen so I can make a point.
Mhm.
We're on Sunday, so here we have a story. It's probably best understood. I mean, it's super easy to understand the lesson of this. Part of what's on this card. If you look at the Quran, the Quran has a story of some children that
Oh, it's Corona, yeah.
that they were not supposed to get their wealth until they were old enough to deal with it. But the wealth was
Okay,
hitting
yeah.
the wall. And so when they got
Mhm.
older and did repairs, they were going to have the money when they needed it. So basically, the
Oh,
wall,
interesting.
the wall was repaired. So the children who were supposed to
Mhm.
get their inheritance. But
Oh, wow, yeah.
the general message of this card, aside
Mhm.
from it's an innocence and maturity. It's like I said in that one poem. I didn't mean chastity in
Mhm.
terms of not indulging in life, because you can be
Mm.
straight up naked and fully indulge
Yeah.
in life and have more fun than almost anybody around, and
Uh-huh.
be chaste.
Wow.
It's like
That's interesting.
I look at the ideas of like the chaste woman as a woman who
Yeah.
can literally be married to to have been married to 8 guys, and
Mhm.
all her husbands died, and she's still chaste. She's still a lady. She's not,
Yeah.
not like your typical, when you uh,
Mhm.
rather than it being deliberate and all
Wow.
this other stuff according to principles, it
Yeah, yeah.
becomes a mistake, and
Mhm.
a couple people down the line, you're ruined. It's like,
Yeah.
what do people say about pornography? People say that the people who are in pornography, maybe they start off with bright eyes and stuff, and it's like,
Yeah.
but you know, not
Uh-huh.
too long, it's like they're dead inside.
Wow.
And
That's so fucking true. Oh my
some of
God.
them, even if they don't get diseased, end up killing
Yeah.
themselves. And if they do get
Mhm.
diseased, they end up killing themselves because they
Mm.
can't handle things even worse than before. Just
Mhm.
like when people get into
Yeah.
escape rather than
Yeah.
exploration of consciousness or something, they end up,
Yeah.
the problems don't,
It's the intention of what you're using that matters.
unless you're so broken that you just don't care, and you don't care
Yeah.
anymore. The problems are
Mhm.
there, whatever. So, but
Mhm.
they,
Yeah.
you're liberated. The sun, in terms of
Yeah.
six. So we're looking at
Uh-huh.
another six thing, because if you look at the
Yeah.
tree of life, the pelvis is
Mhm.
the six. So this is when you get
Mhm.
married. You've done your
Mhm.
pilgrimages and your hero deeds and all that stuff, and you're liberated as far
Mhm.
as society. You're liberated internally.
Mhm.
If you die,
Yeah.
you've been a success.
Yeah.
This is,
Mhm. Yeah.
but interestingly enough, that you
Oh,
follow it. It's one of the last letters in the alphabet. I'm not getting it to
wow.
spell. It's
That's interesting.
the Zoom is messing with me today.
Yeah.
But you know, you've seen the
Mhm. Yeah.
but the next seasonal point
Mhm.
is so Tuesday night. So being the 5th of that's Tuesday, right?
Yeah. Tuesday. Oh yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah,
That's okay.
Tuesday,
Yeah.
Tuesday night is
Mhm.
Beltane night. The
Okay. Yeah.
night of what they used to call summer. Beltane
Mhm.
is just one language. I'm using the you know, the
The
Gaelic.
Celtic. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Gaelic. Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
I definitely have the ancestry, so why not?
Oh yeah, I guess.
And people are more likely to know what you're talking about when you talk about the cross quarters of this and bright
Mhm.
season, dark
Mhm.
season, that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Even though those terms are, even though those other terms are less accurate, but then they get it wrong because
Okay.
they follow
Mhm.
Walpurgisnacht rather than
Mhm.
the start of the you know, Halloween instead of the cross quarter in
Mhm.
November. Walpurgisnacht,
Yeah.
the cross quarter in,
Uh-huh.
you know,
Yeah.
and then you have it's the first Sunday or the first day of
Mhm.
August. It's
Mhm.
always the eve of rather than
Mhm.
the month itself. And that's not what
Okay.
nature puts the cross quarter about a week into
Uh,
August, not the 1st of August, about a
mhm.
week into August. Uh,
Okay.
the Candle
Wow.
Mass, you have Imbolc, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
But the next
Yeah.
seasonal point is now some decks. Now, one deck I would have liked to have the
Uh-huh.
deck where they had all 3 different versions of the Magus card. So there's a deck
Okay.
out there. There's a deck out there that's more available
Are you
than
gonna get it or buy it or
what? Oh,
are you?
it's such a
Yeah.
color. I'm not searching it out.
Oh,
Just
yeah. Yeah.
if I was a collector, I
Yeah.
might, you know, you might want.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
I mean, I collect, but I don't collect to collect. You know.
Could you afford it if you wanted to? Like, are you a rich person or?
Oh, I'm poor. I'm poor. As I say, I basically buy a deck a year and use a deck a year, and
Wow. Really?
um,
Yeah.
a
Wow.
lot of
That's interesting.
a lot of years, most of my books and stuff that I buy,
Mhm.
this
Yeah.
is saving up gift cards and stuff like this. This is
Mhm.
um,
Wow.
I got to put
That's
money into gardening. I got
you.
to prepare
Yeah.
for the future where I'm not,
Yeah.
and as I said,
Yeah.
um,
Wow.
I'm
That's
basically paying the maximum amount of rent that it can
yeah.
figure that I can always pay. So
Wow. That's so inspirational that you're doing all your work and still that's true self-sacrifice. You're not demanding to be rich to do what you're doing. Like you're doing this just out of mere fun and curiosity, and you're doing it all this for the right reasons. I must say, not you're not like equating like doing it everything for the money. So you got 10 points there. And not Nargoggle too. I don't get the idea. I don't get the feeling that Nargoggle is very rich either. Am I right on that one?
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's
Yeah.
admitted he's working in a chemical factory, so he may not be the poorest, but he's like
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
obvious.
he's working in a medical factory.
It's obviously one of the things that he was talking about
Yeah.
his he was going to set up a temple and stuff like this. It's like, but what
Yeah.
did he end up doing? He had to buy. He obviously wasn't rich. He had to buy a fix-up house.
What did he buy?
He bought a fix-up house.
What's that?
It's a house that costs a lot less because repairs, or maybe it costs so low that it doesn't. They don't
Yeah.
charge you for the house. They charge you for the land, and they figure. And
What?
and and over there in Ireland, there's rules about old houses and how much you can do with repairs. You can't just
Yeah.
they want to preserve some of the old stuff, which is I think important
Mhm.
enough. But you know,
That's
he obviously
so.
had his you know,
Yeah.
he spent just like me.
Yeah.
He spent
I
quite some
think that
time.
there's.
He didn't
Yeah.
run off and buy all the Crowley books
Yeah.
all at once or what
Yeah. Exactly.
are
Like
every
the pretentious ones, like equating and
Wheaton novels and
yeah,
and O&M. It sounds like he has an awesome library of
yeah,
even
yeah. He does.
even his Satanism volumes is probably something
Yeah.
that's is
Oh yeah.
better than almost any
Uh-huh.
it's
Like
better.
that's what I like with people, like people who I think Osho, he said, people don't understand value unless they understand price. Like people don't know value unless they know price. They think the price and value are the same thing, but value is something you create by yourself. Like, okay, this book is interesting for me because it's interesting for me, not because, okay, you're supposed to have this because you're an occultist, you should have all these books. You know, you and Nagago, like the few people do this for the right fucking reasons, I must say. So
it's like what
yeah.
what did I do for I
Mhm.
I got a
Yeah.
frame at a yard sale. The most expensive thing was going and buying the glass. I certainly didn't spend somebody $500 to have a pre-dedicated
Yeah.
magic mirror from people.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow. Yeah.
I have scent cones in a glass thing that was given to me as a gift from a Walmart. So that person
Yeah.
wasn't wealthy themselves, obviously.
That's the thing with economy. Like,
And I've
you,
you know,
yeah.
rather than, you know, people have precious
Yeah.
stones that they're using for their things.
Yeah.
It's like my rock collection. I have you
Yeah.
know, I slowly acquired my rock collection, and I again
Yeah. Yeah.
haven't so much prioritized it. It's like
Yeah.
I go
Exactly.
years now without buying any rocks because, one, I want my rocks to have meaning. And
Yeah.
this, for
Exactly.
example, since this month is expected to have 29 days, I have 29
Yeah.
29 of these dragon's
Uh-huh.
blood, fake dragon's blood.
Wow, they are beautiful.
So I
Yeah.
have that out as a thing, but you know,
Yeah.
rather than collecting, here the Magus card. Come on,
Mhm.
we need to see all of you again.
Yeah, we need to see this one.
The Magus card is
Mhm.
um
Oh, it's not showing at all.
I playing games with me.
Yeah, that must be frustrating. I wouldn't be able to, you know, that would frustrate me out if I was you.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that would.
Okay, but you see it's like almost swans under
Mhm.
not on a surfboard. Thank you very much. That's not what's going on. But there's basically a wand. The wand is behind him. It's obvious it's the wand because at the top,
Yeah. Huh?
we're getting little flashes. So whatever shows. But
Yeah.
he's got different things around him. He's got a disc. He's got a pen. He's got a knife, a cup, and a flying egg. There's the ape of Thoth,
Mhm.
sort of making a vulgar display, but there's a truth behind the vulgar display. It's like when Crowley talks about the cup of fornication and all that other stuff. He's getting a message across, but it's kind of coming off in a vulgar way, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
And the book of the law says some stuff that is particularly blasphemous to Judaism, and but he's trying to get at the truth behind Judaism, just like, you know. But the Magus card is you got the plan. So you got you know, you have your plan set out, and
what kind of plans, or
whatever you've laid it out. It's like, what are you going to need?
Oh yeah.
And all that other stuff. So this guy, the fool, he knows there's a journey.
Okay. Yeah. You have your goal or plan, or
he's either beyond the journey or he's about to start the journey, or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
The Magus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's some details and skills and stuff like this that needs to be put across.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, moving into keeping with the times and the mode. So the AN card. I guess I better make clear which card we have that we're saying stuff about. So of course, also being the fire, we got the Ace of Wands. So yeah, one is all driven when that comes to that sort of thing. And the princess, the princess, you know, she's got some luxury. She's pulling it along. It's like on that card. Remember the woman and the flame and the tiger. It's like she's just in that moment, but it's like she's pulled the tiger is like luxury. I was contacted by somebody on the
Babylon.
channel. It's like, how do I go about
Yeah.
selling this thing that's basically illegal?
Okay. Yeah.
Because they had some endangered species pelt or something like this, and it's like, oh yeah, don't message me publicly with this at the moment. Consider it a confession. But
Yeah.
I'm not saying like
Yeah.
honestly, it's like whatever people have told me. If people are telling, it's one thing if they broke a statute law or whatever.
Yeah.
Whether I can agree with that or not.
Yeah.
People, it's like people ask you,
Yeah.
do I really have to kill my family? It's like, who the world's telling? What horror movie did you watch that you think you have to kill yourself?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, or if somebody tells me
Yeah.
that they've done certain abuses against people or killed people or something, it's like you know, this is not the thing that's you know,
Yeah.
and some people commenting, you're a moralist.
Yeah.
Why are you studying this? It's like I can study and respond to whatever I want. I can use different mythologies however I want.
Yeah.
Much, and I'm not doing it blasphemously. I'm doing this because I authentically am trying to experience and you know, respond to it in the way that I respond to it.
Yeah.
That's sort of the thing.
Yeah. Shit.
But so that's the interesting thing that I got with that there is because I got my I guess you know we'll leave this as at one for one program for today.
Okay.
See, so you got your set cards, you got your quarter card, you got three quarter cards. You know, one of them's a trump, one of them's a quarter card, one of them is, you know, the ace.
Yeah, that was 5 or.
And well, I guess no, you got well, one of them is like the princess,
Like,
so the princess and the ace, and you got the quarter card, and then you got the month card, and well, you got the month card. You get 2 month cards. One's a trump.
oh yeah. Okay, so that explains why there were like 2 different tarot cards. The other one was, the first one was monthly, right? Or
yeah, well, see, I got that 7 sequence, so I got one of the cards for the quadrants, but I got another card for the quadrants because 2 more cards for the quad. So you got 3 for each quarter of the year.
okay, yeah.
You know, you got the universe full Aeon or Hanged Man, and then you have the ace and prince of either the discs, the swords, or the wands, and then you have you know, then you have the month cards: Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio. Which then you see it as art, the devil, the star, the moon, the emperor, the hierophant, the lovers, the chariot, lust, or you know, you know, strength card, usually labeled as a strength card. You got the hermit, you got adjustment, you know,
how many
was justice, and then you got death for Scorpio, and then you end up with a pip card. So every 10 days you get a pip card, and then you get the day card. And so those are the 7 cards that I choose. So no matter what, I always have without shuffling, I always have a 7 card thing to bounce off of. So that's my calendar of tarot, you could say.
Oh, wow. Like, by the way, how many cards are there in like a real tarot? Is like 150 or like a complete?
There's different decks for different things, but for example, as I'm saying,
that's in
Kabbalistic structure, you got 22 trumps.
What's
you
that?
Got 16 court cards, 36 pips, and 4. So that's 78. So you have these.
Oh yeah, 78. Yeah.
The trump cards are the stations in life. Now, there is a deck with 50 cards. The Enochian system is on like a 49 thing, right? But the are 50, you could say, as a secret thing, really.
Okay,
Obvious 48 is the.
What was the original, like the starting point? Like, how did it come up with? Was it 50 in the beginning? And if so, like, what did they base that number on?
well, as I'm saying, there most
Yeah.
before modern times, it's like the rune
Mhm.
alphabets and the Ogham alphabet. All
Mhm.
alphabets left and
Wow.
right were used to
Yeah.
represent the universe. They had some sort of structure in how some of them
Yeah.
had structure and like
Oh
there's
yeah.
a space thing and all sorts of stuff where different alphabets
Mhm.
were
That's
used
what
to
the JOS.
express the universe. You could
Uh-huh.
express the universe through the alphabet in terms of
Mm.
its very structure and the things in
That's
it.
why. That's why the JOS, they say that they call uh, the Egyptian tree of life, the Egyptian Kabbalah. So it was really Egypt that started with this, and you have
Ancient
the
Egypt, every
yeah. Mhm.
single theme in the tarot. There was a book.
Yeah.
I can never remember
Uh-huh.
the book. There was a book that every
Mhm.
single thing in the tarot was in.
What? Really?
I mean, there was an Egyptian. There was a book that showed that the ancient Egyptians had every single theme of the tarot worked out.
Oh yeah. They didn't use any Crowley tarot cards. They were like.
So it was basically narrowed down. So you got
Mhm.
the types of people, you got the
Oh yeah,
broad
yeah.
categories of life, you got the
Wow, that's
states
interesting.
of life,
Yeah.
you got the states you go
Mhm.
through. It's like you're happy or you're successful or you fail
Wow.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And you got the stations of life. And
Mhm.
now some of these have moved in different ways or another. And who knows if there was a sequence.
Oh.
People are always saying, under the Sphinx, there's the tarot deck on the walls. We swear. It's like,
Whoa.
Zahi Hawass, maybe he knows about it or not, but I don't think it's
Yeah.
about Zahi Hawass saying, we don't want to admit
I was.
tarot
Yeah.
decks are there because we hate Israel. Or it's like, well, okay, fine, you can hate
Mhm.
Israel, but yeah, but I don't think that has
Yeah.
anything to do with whether this one thing is or not. And I don't have
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And because I
Mhm.
particularly since I don't know if we're going to do another one of these beforehand
Yeah.
before we get to the next season or something. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a carnelian
Mhm.
stone. Speaking of ancient Egypt, one of the stones mentioned in the Book of Dead is the carnelian.
Uh-huh.
So I have
Okay.
one of those little carnelian points on a necklace, basically, and
What? You have that?
that's my symbolic thing for summer. And I also have a ring.
Wow.
I also have a ring with
Uh-huh.
a flame that there was a store
Wow.
going out of business, and I'm like, so I got some stuff pretty cheap comparatively, and
What?
I got a ring. It has a sun and it has
Wow.
fire flames on the side. And
Can you show it,
that's my
perhaps?
summer ring. I don't have it. I don't have it with
Oh,
me. I could get it by the time
okay.
I do the show. That's on this
Yeah.
board here. That's what I
Yeah.
said. That's what I said to
Uh-huh. Wow.
that's what I said to Nergargle. As I said,
Mhm.
one of the things two of the things we could do is
Yeah.
I could do my basic
Mhm.
I could do my basic interview, and
Mhm.
we'll let and Axaru is going to be there, and we're going to and we can
Yeah. Wow.
and we can he can
Oh my gosh.
so
This looks
that's
really
out there. So
cool.
I have told him that
Yeah.
you know because
Yeah.
as you know
Did you get a response? Or?
he did some videos, a couple videos responding to your stuff too.
Yeah, didn't he? Yeah, so he did some anti-cosmic Satanism, yo.
And he responded on the side. He responded on the side.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of videos. There were a bunch of videos where some of us were
Yeah.
mentioning that the video was
And I
entirely down.
actually did some
It's like a
response.
sentence in it or something.
I actually did some musical response videos to him, if you remember those. Like he had one video. He was like, he was screaming like, "I'm a reptile alien, woo, raider, I'm a reptile alien." And I did a remix on that actually, and I sent him the remix on that one.
Oh, and
And
this,
I
and it's like this. It's like this. It's like back before.
yeah.
It's like South Park. I mean, this isn't the image from South Park, but back
Yeah.
in the day, it's like people made images of Muhammad. It wasn't a big deal, and you even had statues made of Muhammad, and the National Cathedral and the Chief
Uh-huh.
Justice House they got statues of Muhammad, and nowadays people are like, you
Yeah.
know, you wouldn't
Uh-huh.
expect that because of what people are trying to stir up nowadays. They act like, oh, somebody threw whether it's an offensive picture or not. They're just
Yeah, we mentioned that last time. Yeah, yeah.
people are just stirring people one way up on
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely time, especially if I'm things are done over a year. But you know,
Hmm.
now that's a
Yeah.
that's a tower card.
Hmm.
This is
Wow.
some of the memes. I pick a card from
Yeah.
and I specifically render things.
Hmm.
Um, you know,
Wow.
the
I
video,
didn't know much about tarot actually until this video was made, because I like know nothing about tarot. But this was I guess your explanation and this video is probably far more valuable in the knowledge of tarot than I would get from going scrolling through YouTube or Google for that matter. I don't think I would be as sim.
well,
I think you saved me a lot of time. That's what your
I
videos
was
do.
disappointed myself about the
Mm.
occult tarot. I was disappointed
Yeah,
about
yeah, I
the
can
daemon
bet you
tarot, because
were.
one, that's not a tarot. It's basically they took a book and
Yeah,
a series of flashcards.
that's probably why you're doing these videos, I guess,
Um,
to
well,
bring it to the original.
trying to get more more information, of course. And hey,
Yeah,
it's my poem. It's my piece of art. Um,
yeah.
like
I mean, you're taking something complicated and making it simple so it becomes fun to learn about it. That's what I love about you.
like
Like,
I'm
yeah,
I mean
yeah,
leave off the name associated with
yeah,
it. But
yeah.
you've seen some of. I'm doing a series right now where I'm
Mhm.
basically I'm doing a response poem
I'm
series.
honored to be part of that series. I must say that. Wow.
So there's like the plan is they're broken into two
Yeah.
or three because that's I want to keep the colored background. I like having little green
Mm.
background, the green backgrounds and stuff like or
Yeah.
whatever. So
Oh,
I'm breaking them up rather than having this one thing and then like having to
yeah.
find a picture or something as a backdrop or something. No, I'll just
And
use
you're
to make it green or whatever.
like you're also very flexible. Like you incorporate different. Like you plan to do a series, but you incorporate as you go along. Like, okay, I can bring Axaru with me in the process. Like you're not very okay. It must be done exactly in this way, and that's one of your strengths. I feel like yeah.
some of the stuff I definitely want to start off. I want to make sure you know
Mhm.
the poem or
Yeah.
whatever interrupting, and then just whether we're going to talk for an hour or two, whatnot else. That's perfectly.
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
like this show. One can
yeah.
literally if
Yeah.
when I do it myself, I'll just try to quickly go through the symbols and what the verses are,
Mhm.
particularly in English, or
Yeah.
something, and then I'll just
Yeah.
maybe tell
Mhm.
people where they are because
Yeah.
I want people to put their own meaning and
Yeah.
stuff. I don't just want it to be, um,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah. I noticed that one.
you know.
Yeah. You're doing it the way it's supposed to be done, I think, in every
But
way possible.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to experience things as I go along, and maybe I'm gonna,
Yeah.
but it's like a lot
Mhm.
of people they don't want one of the things that gets people about tarot is like
Yeah.
it's like the order of nine angle stuff. It's like, okay, you can have a deck where you have
Yeah.
22 cards and you have one of these demons
Mhm.
on it, and for each of the
Yeah.
numbered cards, you have another one of these demon names in the thing, and then you have
Yeah.
it's like you can do that, but just having it as
Mhm.
a list, you still want to get a
Mhm.
message across. You still want to have an experience
Mhm.
with it, and
Yeah.
people don't get into tarot law
Yeah.
sometimes because of superstition. Sometimes it's like, well,
Yeah.
it's not necessary, and that's probably more of the reason than anything really. But
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's also people just don't want some
Mhm.
list. People
Mhm.
an ex,
Yeah.
people want an
Uh,
experience of life, you know,
yeah.
and
Uh-huh. Mhm. Yeah.
I guess
I
this
mean,
that group is not so much about experience of life, but
yeah.
okay, I'm losing I was going to bring up my
Yeah.
graphic, but that's that symbol
Where?
in the middle. It's
Oh, have you lost your graphics or?
you're drop
Uh,
what?
oh, you no, you found the. Yeah, was this the picture you were looking for, or Coronson, or?
But it's about the vitality.
Yeah.
I understand why uh,
Hmm.
more than anything, more than any of the order nine angles branch
Yeah.
offs. Uh,
Hmm.
you got might as well. more than any of the Order of Nine Angles branch off, the Temple of Blood is about the vitality and force and experience.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah.
Order of Nine Angles in general is more philosophical than anything else. You do put yourself through trials, but it's more of a stoic thing than
like living in the woods for 3 months.
And
yeah,
and in a way, as much as they do talk about some pretty dark stuff, and people think they're all a bunch of serial killers, or at least supporters of serial killers. But, but the Temple of Blood can use the energy of it. They don't have to actually do it themselves, so they're more.
Oh, really?
You don't have to. It's like people don't realize you don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like as my one meme says, criminal and perverted Satanism, in which I did my version of the Liber 333. That's my version I'm sharing. I'm not reading. I'm interpreting and adding my own commentary. Much like one of the versions has Michael Ford's material in with it, and so basically it's like my version of
I kind of like Michael Ford, actually. He's authentic too, I feel, in his work. Like, he's very ancient. Like, he arrived at this knowledge the right way too, I feel, in a large extent, compared to the pretentious ones out there like E. Quennings and V.K. Johannes.
Well, he was in the game longer, but it's interesting. If I recall right, him and he's older. He was in the game longer. I was still going to church when he was when he was doing little private ritual films that basically nobody heard of except unless you knew him and got a copy of the VHS when he was in Texas or Portland or what, or I think or wherever he was. I know he's been for shows, but
really?
for talks and stuff. But I was never in Portland when he did that. But But it's interesting that we both came upon the whole Luciferian, the whole title of Luciferian at the same time. Wasn't, and for neither of us was
that's interesting.
Howard Bloom thing. It was basically look at what this term means. It's like, well, I was fully aware of that it was a term that was used for Jesus, and it's yet another term like Christ and Messiah and Emmanuel, that if you really understand it, you realize that Jesus isn't God, that he's basically sort of a, I've enlightened myself and other people can learn from my example, but I'm not doing it for you. You have to do it for yourself. So you bring out your own mind, realize and actualize for yourself. But when they take someone as a god, it's just like they don't. Muhammad's not supposed to be taken as a god, and they definitely know that themselves. But but they do. People do get fanatical about his favorite foods and some stuff. They make it about the personality when it's really not a message. And then on top of that, you have people like the Saudis that have tried to come in and say that you can't have the opinion yourself. You have to have an official scholar to approve of all your opinions. But
Osho speaks about this.
Thing. It's like, see, but no matter how black and gray it is, you gotta have. No matter how you're studying or practicing or spirituality, you got to learn to experience it. It's not that they don't. It's like
Sufism. Like the difference between Islam and Sufism. The one is experience, the esoteric, and the other is the Jewish version, you could say.
Well,
the controlling.
The Ilkhan or something like this. It's not Wahhabism, it's Ilkhanism. Okay, it's like, but it's not really. It's kind of a mix between stuff with authoritarian Saudi politics thrown on top. So that's one thing going on there. But it's like, but speaking of that, I guess. After I'm done with these commentaries that I have with me, I guess one of the things, since you do Sufism, that one author that I posted a commentary on, it's not going to go up for another month and some, but the one author, he wrote a couple books on Sufism, and I think I guess
Yeah.
I guess I could share I could include one of the books on this channel to be one of those books.
Mhm. Oh
So
yeah. Okay.
so
Yeah.
consider that to be,
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
so
Okay.
I'll probably have something like that I'll start working on it.
All right. Cool.
Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, the things in its
Yeah.
time. But
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, any
Mm.
further comments about what we've kind of gone over and stuff today?
Well, uh, well, we've gone through a lot of stuff today. Actually, we've gone through the tarot card. We've been speaking about politics, and we've been touching upon political hypocrisy most of the time. And what else? Talked about the difference between esotericism and exotericism. And yeah, I think that pretty much sums up. And also, we've been talking about the importance of authentic occultism and not pretentious occultism. There's a difference between pretentious occultism or equerism and authentic occultism or nagagolism.
or just being just trying to be symbolic, or it's like Crowley. Crowley,
Yeah.
he would he would rework it. Now editing one's own material, if you realize that it's not a revelation from the spiritual worlds, and you're putting things, or you're at least putting things in your own words because you're writing down your account. It's open to things, but working to try to make it exact and all this other stuff through the years, that's just not necessary. People, one of the things that did happen with certain religious traditions is they did go back and edit because they wanted to work with the style. Usually it's more about agendas than anything else.
Exactly.
They
Controlling it.
They change stuff, and the Christian scriptures more than anything else, it seems, because they, it's like every generation they were adding and subtracting stuff, and but it's not for some priesthood to be over us. It's not for some
exactly.
But yeah, pretentious in that I'm using all sorts of terminology. It's like what are the six rights? Now this is a tradition of what's said about about Quran now that it said that there's six rights, but one of those rights is experience. It's not just you got you got your believing and doing, but you also have your understanding. And you got
that's what's lacking in them Christian churches. And not only that, a willingness to understand. Like if you're trying to explain to people, okay, this is what is meant here, they're not even gonna listen, because they already, okay, all you need to know is I just, okay, John 3:16. Forget about the New Old Testament. Forget about
forget about Jesus. Forget about Jesus restoring the law or any thing like that.
Exactly.
Remember, this is one of my
forget about Jesus restoring the law. Exactly.
And you got to be willing to give something up. You got to be willing to give something up, or you're not going to get into the kingdom of heaven. Give up your attachment to the wealth. It's not that you can't be wealthy, you just got to give up your attachment to the wealth is the main thing.
Yeah, I did discuss this actually when I was at church the other day to get some free food. I usually get free food there, so you go there and you talk to people there and explain to them how the Jews control and everything. And we discuss, and we, somebody said something about, like Jesus said, for example, okay, unless you sell everything you have and give to the poor, you can't be my disciple. And then this guy said, well, he was speaking to a specific type of people who were attached to money. He didn't mean generally that you shouldn't have wealth.
Yeah, it's probably one of you can tell it's one of those guys that were going around in outfits more than their weight in gold, and And
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what it said. Yeah. Oh, you know exactly what I mean. Yeah.
Because it's
So,
obvious this already was. It's
yeah.
like most people, that expensive blue or purple thread that they used to wear was that was it.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
then the priests were ones wearing this stuff that's 8 times the price of gold. And so rather than your special thread that you go about life with,
Yeah.
it's like no, it's they got the whole thing. And that's another thing. Like I'm saying, it's not a problem. It's not a problem with Islam. It's a problem with like certain people, like these Saudis that want to be that some of them, how they want to be all separate and how they dress and all this other stuff. And it's like, no, that's exactly the Jewish thought is that so Judaism is being different from people just to be different. Not really
the scribes and Pharisees,
any value of principles, just being different from people.
Yeah.
And you know, and then they criticize, then they act like Satanism is all about. It's like what about about actual Judaism? But
oh yeah, there's more bloodshed there than there's in Satan's, Marcus.
And one of the things that people are upset about tarot is tarot was basically first known in its complete format in a particular church.
Torah.
And
Tarot Torah. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Tra, different word. It means the gates. So tarot, if you're gonna throw an Aramaic Hebrew connection, you're gonna say it means the gates. And in Hebrew, you had a tradition of the gates of wisdom. But then again, as I'm saying, it's not something that nothing in
Kabbalah.
Nothing in Judaism starts with Judaism.
Oh, really?
Everything is borrowed.
Yep. That's right. Everything is stolen.
Usually in a more bland way. And I understand what Nefesh Snake Liberation has said in one of his videos, that with all these Kabbalistic talks about God and the realm of God, a lot of these demons, now, if you just look at Kabbalah, it makes it sound like, and some of the Christian writings, it makes it sound like the God, like God in his heavens that they worship is a smaller, inferior sort of being. But we so tarot, treat tarot as a book rather than just as some fortune telling tool, or it's the way the tarot was a way to get the authority, to get the teachings and the authority to use the teachings somewhere outside of the church. That was one of the things that tarot did, and that really upset them. As much as they did, as much as fortune telling and stuff popped up, and they already had rules against that, they didn't want. They wanted people to go to church and meditate on the church paintings.
Wow.
So whether you were rich or poor, they stood against the tarot for that very reason. Tarot is, you don't have to be monotheist, you don't have to be polytheist, whatever. Tarot is basically it's
universal.
It's an open thing, and particularly as like these two decks that I've offered. What was it? These two decks that I've I've accidentally brought up different memes here, but the two decks, this one and this one. Well, I mean, we have 8 through whatever. These ones don't have any of the Kabbalistic listings. So that's one of the things. It'll be easier, particularly talking to you, and most people really, not to have all these correspondence directly associated with it. But
most people are so programmed into seeing things in a certain way. So
and if you look into the ancient Persian stuff, you find stuff even bigger than the Bible, that the Bible kind of indicates is authoritative by mentioning it. And then you find out there's some text that's like that would be about, rather than 1,500 pages or something, to be like 5,000 pages or something like this. There's some big stuff that the Bible kind of contracted, and now people were reusing mythology left and right and whatnot, but I can't think of anything that Judaism or Christianity doesn't change. And I bring up the Saudis as an example of how basically they're a change from the basic stuff of Islam. They turned it back into some tribal thing where literally in Saudi courts, you actually don't expect to get, if you're not Arab, you tend not to get as fair as judgment, whether it's civil or criminal.
Oh,
it's not
really?
guaranteed that it's going to be against you, but it's like there's not the chance.
Oh shit, yeah.
And Muhammad was someone who people could differ in opinion with him. People even shouted out stuff that was contrary to his religion when he recited the Quran, because they thought, oh, he's mentioning this. Let's shout out this verse that we say in this respect. It's destructive and disrespectful. It wasn't exactly, but it wasn't like he said he had these people hunted down and killed because he didn't like their poem, or he didn't like, oh, they're saying the old Quraysh thing is like, just it's my turn to talk. Thank you very much. But people think that that's going to be the thing. People think that it's like here they are, the tree. Here these people green are with the tree, and it's like well, you look at that, and they're like most things. I don't want to be like George Sale talking about criticizing Islam. I don't want to be part of a religion that forbids most things. Have a few things.
Yeah, exactly.
Have a few things you stay away from. Like obviously, some stuff has hurt for some.
That's valid criticism. Yeah.
And or some stuff hurts everybody, just to different degrees, and maybe you want to have rules against that. But most stuff being Jews will carry around a little. This is not one of those such books, but this is a book that my ritual book that I'm writing, my grimoire, which I'm sharing.
It's in panther skin. There, interesting.
So I put this in. It's a print on a cardboard, so it's not
okay.
Not too as I'm saying, it's like I'll draw symbols. I'll draw symbols on paper. I'll take out yard. I don't need any. I don't need. I don't need
any fancy golden paper.
But the what was I saying?
Sorry.
There are Jews who carry around this little book of what foods they can and can't eat, and the Bible has pages about furniture, pages about clothes, pages about food, and it's not really something that's. Some of it doesn't work modern times. You can't use mixed fabrics. Then the rabbis make some of this stuff even stricter.
Shit.
And that's
wow.
Not only do they at the book, they came back later and decided they wanted to make things
exactly.
But to carry around a little book with you, because you can't. Most Muslims basically don't eat the blood. They don't eat the carrion. They don't eat the animals, that are scavengers and stuff. And they want things killed a certain way. But then almost everything's you can eat. So whatever, and you can remember that.
Yeah, that's true.
You want. Most people can't. They can't go around. It's like the Zoroastrian priests.
They can't go around it.
Rather than everybody, you carry maybe
rather than admitting
thread, and you have and you have a brief. You have your 17 minutes or whatever that you can do this material. And that's what you can do every day, and that's everybody can do. But when you have hours and hours of rituals, and it takes months to purify a sacred fire for y'all to pray around a fire. Did Zoroaster pray around? Did Zoroaster do anything except remove the garbage? Make sure there wasn't garbage in the fire before he lit his fire. That's all the guy did. It was in the mountains of Persia. About the height of Oregon is where he spent most of. The latitude of Oregon there. It was like living in the mountains it was like living in the Cascades or something like that. And so it can frost, except for a couple months in summer, it could frost or something. And so that's but it was something you could do. But but they just stood around a fire, probably stay warm. Thank you very much.
Okay.
But they turned it into this huge ritual system that you can't do. The Catholics have
Mhm.
too many rituals they don't know what to do with. So you
Yeah.
may have to retrain the priest, and the priest may have to read from the book just because
Mhm.
have a priest in a different area because you may have different holidays. And
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
but even if it's something you can't, then you have to have then I think you should have allowances,
Mhm.
right? If this is the
Mhm.
general rule for people, what if people can't do this?
Yeah.
If they're
There's no.
sick,
That's logic.
criticizing the
Yeah.
disabled because maybe they can't get up and wash then, or maybe they can't.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Um,
The scribes, they just they take the old nonsense and they renew it.
and
And
but that,
you
and
know.
that's the thing as I'm saying as
Yeah.
I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think that I don't think this here
Mhm.
is that good of a representation of ah, go on.
Oh.
I don't think that on the right there is that good of a representation of Muhammad, but
Yeah.
um
Hmm.
he told the people
Yeah. Yeah.
you know just
Okay.
how
Yeah.
many groups the Jews have basically
Mhm.
divided into so many a little bit less than the full
Oh shit. Yeah.
psychological group you could say, and the Christians is
Yeah.
responding in every psychological way in their own way,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
their own way. It's not mere the social group. It's not mere the psychological your own psychology. It's kind of whatever, but
Yeah.
it's but you're going to follow every mistake
Mhm.
Jews and Christians make. My community
Oh.
is going to end up doing the same garbage, except some of you aren't going to fall into that. Some of you,
Oh. Yeah.
basically. Um,
Yeah.
so, but what did
Mhm.
they do? You know, the same worship of saints and stuff like this.
Mhm.
You know, people literally
Oh.
interrupting their prayer. It's like
Yeah.
you're praying to Allah, and then you're going to interrupt your prayer to say to call some
Yeah.
angel over and say, um, like the angel
Yeah.
can obey you anyways. But the
Mhm.
so they interrupt their rituals to pray to some angel or to Muhammad or some saint or something like that, which basically the
Oh shit.
Muhammad
Yeah.
told in the rest of the prayer even that this is not
Mhm.
something that's going to count could be good for them, but they do it anyway.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh shit.
but and what did they do? They
Yeah.
started having ritual. It's like I don't want any. Don't.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you to pay me. I'm not asking for the alms to go towards me. In fact, I reject all the
Yeah.
obligatory charity. I don't want any of it. Any of the charity.
Mhm.
In fact, I mean,
Mhm.
people who know me can give me a gift if they're not bribing me. But you know, you don't.
Yeah.
You know, take care of the
Yeah.
poor. Take care of you
Yeah.
know, societal
Yeah. Yeah.
purposes in life.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah. Mhm.
well, he wasn't somebody sitting trying
Hmm.
to make things wealthy, but that's
Yeah.
look at that's sort of what's ruined the Muslim world
Yeah.
by large. You have these,
Yeah.
you know, not as much, not
Mhm.
as bad, nowhere near as bad as the Christians, but it's certainly
Mhm.
pretty bad. The professional priests
Yeah.
ruling the game. They're selling their
Yeah.
religious
Yeah.
rulings, you can say. They're selling
Yeah.
their position.
Huh.
It was much
Mhm.
better. It was much better when you had people that had a little bit more religious knowledge than other people, and they came up and
Mhm.
they led the, you know, when
Yeah. Wasn't
everybody
it?
took a
Yeah.
break, you took a, you know, somebody who
Now there's
leads things.
yeah. Now they have this strange kind of religious communism where okay, uh, yeah, like you go to church, like okay, you're not supposed to know more than anybody else there, and if you do, you think you're more than anybody else, and what kind of nonsense is that? I mean,
Well,
it
it
was better when
can't get
there
merit
were
for the
that's why
whatever,
we
but
had learned.
it's like look at what the thing is. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, if the clergy are just barely, there's not the difference between
Yeah.
Catholic and
Oh
Protestant.
fuck.
It's more about country, how well they behave.
Yeah. Mhm.
It
Yeah.
really is more
Exactly.
about
Oh
country.
my gosh.
It's like
Yeah.
if it's like if child molestation and rape is number one is mostly American, and then after that, Ireland's
Mhm.
pretty bad. But if
Yeah.
Ireland and you're
Mhm.
Protestant, you have the same problem as the
Mhm.
thing. If you're Protestant, Catholic, whatever, you have the same type of problems as the other thing. And but the
Mhm.
clergy is clearly being better than everybody else, earning a salary
Mhm.
that's
Wow.
more than your average person.
People are so fucking stupid.
Maybe even 50 times what your average person gets or something. Uh,
Mhm.
it's like
Wow.
Copland. It's there's some really exceptions. There's millionaire
Yeah.
preachers, and then there's a couple out there that are like billionaire
Yeah.
that are like,
Yeah.
oh, I own a series of TVs, you know, uh,
Oh my.
stations or that sort of
Yeah.
thing. You know, Kenneth Copland, that guy
Mhm.
has got some money. Um,
Oh, yeah.
he has
Mhm.
a different jet for every week of
Petrodollar.
the year that he flies. and he says, I need it for the ministry. It's like if it was for the ministry, you could fly like other.
I need it for the ministry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
40 multi-million-dollar jets are needed.
Yeah.
But yeah, this
Yeah, I mean,
it's like I've been on trips. Did I ever get paid to lead some cave trip or some wandering out into the woods to meditate and do rituals or whatever? No, I never got paid for it. Somebody there were times, I guess, where people handed me some of I got this many granola bars here, you can have one. But it wasn't like you can go and I'll buy you a box of granola bars or something. And I think
yeah. I mean, I was going to say, like, today people don't look at credibility for respect. They look at status for respect. They look at money for respect. Like back in the days, they had learned elders, they had priests for a fucking reason. Like you weren't priest doesn't mean okay you had money. Priest simply meant somebody maybe he knew more, or I don't know.
Yeah, it takes time. It's like I remember half my life ago I was and actually a little before that when I wasn't officially finally away from the church for good. I did rituals out of books. I remember.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
phrases and stuff like this. It wasn't that. And of course it's like people put too much. It's like you mentioned quitting. A dude puts too much on candle magic, really. Light candle and think about the light.
Yeah, candle magic. Yeah, that's a good one.
But that's easier stuff to do. So him after his current stuff,
that's the easier way to get money.
Radionics. If he really heard a voice.
Radionics, that's some
he put
retarded bullshit. Bro.
He put his
what was the name of that guy?
He put mercury in it. Mercury makes its way out. That's how you get retarded for good.
What do you say? You put mercury in what?
His orgonite. I don't know what I don't know what he call it, alchemite or what he came up with an orgonite that had mercury in it. You can't touch.
Is that a bad thing or
what?
Is that a bad thing or?
Yeah, no, you don't want mercury. It's like in a lab. If you get mercury, if you drop too many, if you drop the thermometers, that mercury will be there for like ever until you remove the floor.
Oh, and mercury, that's like really bad for the brain and the nervous system too, right?
Yeah, you can turn yourself into a vegetable by having a bunch of having a bunch of rocks that you. It's like if you have gloves on when you're making this stuff. What does that tell you about when you're going to handle it later?
Oh shit!
But he
yeah, that's a good one. There.
He didn't think that one through, but because
are you sure about that one? Didn't he think that through? I think.
He could have. Some of these people won't do it for real for themselves, but they'll put the idea out for others to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I think.
Because like the fact he got a gun collection, he did some drugs, but people I don't, as much as he talks about the spirits helping people get away with things, I do not think that he was one of these murderers, or that I don't think he really knew people who ran human sacrifice cults out in the desert. I don't just
oh shit.
That's part of the marketing, I think. But if the tarot's a book, it's one's got one's it's like if you share your art, you are preaching, whatever, that's perfectly fine. Believing in practice, but what were the other ones? Understand, experience. That's one of the things that shifting tarot decks. I have a stronger experience. Not only
you do have a stronger experience.
Not only when I incorporate new material from time to time, or or whatever. Maybe I'll change
Mhm.
change a room. It's like
Yeah.
eventually the property
Uh-huh.
I'm living on, I
Yeah.
won't just do some rituals outside when no one's outside with you know, or
Mhm.
well,
Yeah.
I'm willing to invite to have people over like I used to, my seasonals and
Wow.
stuff.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah. Yeah.
one of the things there is like
Mhm.
I'll eventually like I'll go um
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I plan
Yeah.
the demiurge energy, as you could call it. I plan
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
rituals to full to reincorporate the. I mean, I'm
Mhm.
not going to be chanting sacred
Yeah.
formulas over the toilet or something, but you know, I'm going to
Yeah.
reincorporate the
Mm.
place. That's my full intention to
Yeah.
now I do have my main temple room, which is,
Mhm.
and I'm going to continue doing whatever. But I'll do some
Mm.
side stuff to just change the energy of the
Yeah.
house, the house and stuff like this. And
Wow. Shit.
but
And yeah, that sounds like band stuff for me.
but
Yeah.
things are so gradual. It's like um
Mm. Mhm.
all you have all these armchair magicians, all these armchair anthropologists
Mhm.
that just, oh, I've read it here
Yeah.
and that sort of stuff. It's like
Yeah.
all you have is a symbol. If all you have is the nearest polished rock, or maybe not even a polished rock that you found
Mhm.
like the
Yeah.
aquarium thing that
Yeah.
people that I don't know.
Mhm.
I think it stuck to a shoe or
Mm.
something, and I cleaned it off. Somebody was at the graveyard and they
Mhm.
came back and it's like
Oh yeah.
this wasn't didn't seem
Oh,
to be
yeah.
with it. Did it stick between their
Mhm.
shoes when they because people scatter these aquarium things on
Mhm.
graves, and I think he must have stepped on one and it stuck in his boot or something.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's like I don't know where it went, so it's not
Mhm.
like I can put it back. But it's like
Okay.
polish, paint some
Yeah.
glass black, buy a used frame and paint the glass
Mhm.
black and use it as your scrying mirror. Um,
Mhm.
use
Yeah.
use a basic.
Yeah. Very simple. Like, yeah, or like you said with the rocks, like you collect them like this bloodstone and stuff. You know, things must have value. It's not
Yeah.
the price.
Oh well, it's like
these are the,
that's one of
yeah.
the things about the grimoires. The
Mhm.
grimoires, so many of the
Yeah.
grimoires, like I'm
Mhm.
saying, it takes me weeks to compose the thing, and I'm working and I try to
Yeah.
explain.
Yeah.
Then I go out my experience, which I
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
explain to a different degree. Maybe I'm muttering and maybe I'm using glossolalia. Maybe I'm
Mhm.
sharing kind of what I see and stuff. Sometimes it's stuff that I
Yeah.
can't quite explain because you know when you
Wow.
encounter some of the spiritual realms, it's not like
Yeah.
you can talk about it in its terms,
Exactly.
like you
Yeah.
can say this is the fire being this and or the light being
Mhm.
that, but it's going beyond something that you could say.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes there's a
Yeah.
being that
Exactly.
takes on a form. It's like you can't really describe what this
Yeah.
form is. It's like
Yeah. No.
kind
Yeah.
of like a goat.
Exactly.
It's kind of like not. It's kind of like this.
Yeah.
It's like something in between
Yeah.
those,
Exactly.
like none of them. Um,
The moment you put words to it, it's like already destroyed there. Because words are limited. It's like explaining a dream to somebody. Like you can only explain like 1% of the dream in the words. 99% they will never understand until they had the dream themselves. So
or sometimes
yeah.
when you find out other people have the experience.
Mhm.
So sometimes it's like
Yeah.
sometimes their interpretations
Mhm.
are so totally off. But
Mhm.
yeah, but
Yeah.
people's
Mm.
experiences are what their experience is, and like
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
it's like if you see if you
Wow.
know, I mean, particularly this graphic, um,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't think that you think that
Yeah.
this the blue thing in the middle of there is you, but some people would have a dream and then they'd say,
Yeah.
oh, the character in the dream must have been me,
Yeah.
even though they you know, it must
Mhm.
have been me in a past life or something. And
Yeah. 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 It's the interpretation even there. Like even if you see something, not only can you not share what you see, but you have to interpret it also. And so, wow, it really is more complicated than I thought. Now that I'm thinking about it.
okay,
Wow.
I didn't share it, but my summer
Mhm.
I mentioned okay,
Yeah.
my fire ring, my
Yeah. Yeah.
alien point,
Mhm.
and my oh
Wow.
my Solomonic triangle. I have, you know
Mhm.
what I mean. They have
Mhm.
no,
Yeah. The sun.
I don't have it on my thing, but uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, you know, this is, but I have a full set of stuff to work that with. But of course, I'm not,
Okay.
you know, as I've said, my like the
Yeah.
like the Grammarian Barium, I'm not calling on
Yeah.
I'm not calling on any saints, and
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah.
At the very least, I'm using something cosmologically, but
Yeah.
basically these,
Yeah.
you know, tarot's just series stuff
Yeah.
of symbolism
Mhm.
that a person works with.
Wow. Yeah, okay. Yeah. 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 Oh wow. Yeah. That's the key. It's symbolism. Yeah, that people work with because hmm, these things are like the subconscious language, right? That the subconscious mind uses symbols to understand things. Hmm.
And so yeah, it's like you do figure out stuff. You sit down and do
Yeah.
tarot with people, and you do figure out stuff about them.
Mhm.
Not so much on this because because you're
Yeah.
heading, I'm heading, but I mean,
Mhm.
I actually, if I get set up,
Yeah.
I can actually set up now once I get
Mhm.
the Zoom on that I can set up in
Yeah.
somewhere where I can actually be seen and then have the background, which actually probably would have better
Okay. Yeah.
cards. But
All right. Yeah.
the yeah, it's self
Yeah.
psychology. It's cutting out the middleman and just getting involved with it oneself. That's
Uh-huh.
that what goes on, and you can put
Yeah.
it in the spiritual context. I
Mhm.
certainly would recommend putting anything
Yeah.
in a spiritual context, but
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
I've been on much longer than I expected. So I'm going to have to
Yeah.
go here. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
any final
Oh
thoughts
yeah.
before we close?
Uh, oh, well, this has been very interesting. Probably the most interesting. It was unfortunate that Nagago couldn't come on. I was hoping that he would come on, but maybe another day soon. I hope that we can have a Trinity meeting of authentic seekers of knowledge and truth in all areas of life. And me, of course, being part of the Joy of Satan, but I am also incorporating far more than just JOS. At the moment, I'm, for example, incorporating a lot of um, the sect of the horned god material, which takes in the subconscious mind and has a very holistic view of the psyche, so to speak. And that's where people like Nagagal and Jaifar come in, because they are very holistic and authentic in their view of the human psyche and the occult. And they have a very scientific approach to the whole matter, holistic and scientific, how it's supposed to be. So from that perspective, I gained a lot, I must say, from this session. And yeah, that's pretty much what I got to say about this one. Very
Well,
interesting.
I guess that's one thing y'all can say about the tarot
Mhm.
is that
Yeah,
maybe you can't
yeah,
have most you can't necessarily I mean if the unseen beings are going to call you to be their prophet or something, they're going to do that, but
mhm.
um
Yeah,
certainly
yeah.
people can have experience in certain various areas of spirituality.
Mhm,
Now if you get into it, you'll probably have some actual
mhm,
spiritual realms experience, whatever that's going to be. But tarot is an
mhm,
example of how everybody has experience in all the categories to some degree.
mhm,
So, you know,
mhm.
um,
Wow.
now
Yeah.
I guess a couple things, ones that
Mhm, yeah.
demonology on the Shadowscapes tarot, if you want to see how I laid
Mhm,
out the demonology of the series.
mhm.
Um, the
Yeah.
the the Shining Tribes tarot series. Now again, I'm
Mhm.
not, it's my own thing, my own
Yeah,
work.
that sounded like your own
But the
thing.
Shining Tribes tarot is sort of a shamanism, sort of ancient, sort of way of
Oh,
looking at the tarot. So I guess that one
wow.
also would be
Yeah.
a couple of the ones that would
Mhm.
that
Wow.
would be the ones that would be the most of interest. Although the
Yeah.
astrology
Yeah, of
without
course.
idolatry kind of goes in more of the structure of the meaning
Yeah.
of basically the astrological side of looking at the tarot. That's entirely what.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So of course it has to go into Babylonian and some and Greek.
Yeah, Babylonian. Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's not that
I may be too technical to be as popular as some
Yeah.
say. It's like, but that's what I have to. That's what I have to offer.
Yeah. Wow.
And you know,
I mean,
when I do,
as long as it's original and it's unique and it's your own thing, that's how the occult started, isn't it?
well, I think that's originally what it was. Is that
Yeah.
okay, no matter how much the particular individual access was, it was the spiritual paths were open to everybody. And
wow.
you know,
it was,
and they you know, but they turned because of the Catholic Church or the Umayyad dynasty or what or whatever the case,
them fucking Catholics,
or the various Zoroastrian priesthoods that weren't entirely as I'm saying, they knew what happened. The Magi rewrote it. Then the Achaemenians rewrote it. The Sassanians rewrote it. The Parsis rewrote it. So whatever changes they made at each point is really, you know,
they rewrote it for the modern day.
It's really not honest to sit back and say that these, you know, basically the professional priesthoods and the state came in and did things. That, But
and people today just swallow it whole. You know, they don't have any discernment whatsoever. People are in it just for the status, just for, okay, look at me, I'm a Christian, or look at me, I'm a Satanist. It's all for the social self-image. It's a trend.
It always irks me when you hear somebody that's he's a good Christian, and then you hear that he beat his wife and kids and was honest in business and it's like, wait, what?
Good facade on the outside when you go to church, and another person home.
I don't care. It's like I'd rather have my family member in and out of jails and prisons than have them be anything other than Southern Baptist or Methodist or whatever they've decided on.
And you do a lot of good stuff. You know, you help the people in Africa, whatever, because you want to show your peers in church that you're such a good person, and it's like an escape from you.
Yeah, that can spoil the whole thing when you have to. It's like one of the things about the pandemic, you can't take part in anything without it being on video camera or recorded via, because of its an internet communication. I'm like, it used to be you could walk into a building and make a donation in the specific for the poor box. I don't want to put it in. I don't want to put it in the
specific for the poor box.
Because there are places that exist, like as I'm saying, Islam doesn't have. Islam doesn't have, for example, doesn't have alms. The alms all go towards charity. It doesn't go towards the required alms. Don't even go towards the building. Anything that's considered an obligation for everybody, that doesn't even go towards the building. That's like a voluntary charity thing in the Islamic world. But in churches, you don't know where the tithing is going to go, and you really don't.
You don't know where it's going to go. Not in the Red Cross either. It's going.
A lot of these charity organizations are even like 80-something% non. You know, it doesn't. It's right to the. It's like, oh, Christians Children's Fund or whatever they call themselves now. It's typically 80-something, 90-something%. Not the charity function that they're talking about. So they build some wells and stuff like this, and they do that, but there's money being collected on the side. Goodwill,
but you see, the charities,
Goodwill's not that big of an organization money-wise, but the guy at the top is still making sure that he's gotten his millions.
Yeah, exactly. And they're exploiting the people with guilt and low self-esteem, because they're the ones who want to do charity to feel better about themselves. So it's basically they're exploiting those.
And so many of these places, the lower employees, okay, fine, they're paying the lower employees, but they're getting people that are like out of jail or prison or something, or living in a poor neighborhood and they can't find anything but they hope to get to move a little bit up at the Walmart or something like this. This is the sort of wages that they pay.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
they even have I've been into Goodwills where they had a little they have a little collection jar to help pass around like a tip to the employee.
Uh-huh.
They have a tip
Okay,
jar
yeah.
for employees at the thing because they don't pay them enough. And that's what they did in America with all the tipping. The tipping comes from the businesses figure, let's work tipping in so we don't have to pay the employees as much. Then they over a law, and they even have some states have it so you don't have to pay minimum wage. So whatever the minimum wage is, you pay a portion of the wage, and then you allow them to get tips. So you have somebody working for $2 an hour in a place where it's $1,000 or $2,000 rent, and it's just kind of. But basically, in talking, in politics, it's like I don't, and I kind of see that you kind of don't so much either. I don't separate things. It's not just some secular, political, public citizenship dispute for itself. There's actually meaning and purpose behind it. I don't care about no Democrat or Republican, whatever. If the Democrats are really screwing up, I won't vote Democrat for the Democrat. Or if there's an exception, I vote for Democrat or the Republican. It's I've never, of course, I have there's family that doesn't talk to each other over all this, and it's like, first of all, stop making up stuff about the other side, and second of all,
you don't talk bad
you're
about
probably
Trump
voting for the same thing. One family member's like mad at the rest of us because it's like, didn't you basically have been encouraging this stuff all along just because they were the wrong, the supposedly wrong political party?
Wow. Oh, by the way, I need to go to the toilet just quickly. Gotta pee.
Okay, well, let me. So I am here with Lzwvmmh and I'm in Earhahu Pumlup Banuat Skiba, and we'll, I guess, go on.
That's me. And I'm just going to the toilet.